Welcome in, everybody. A long, hot summer with some lightning, some thunder, some rain has led to this. Two teams remaining here at Lakewood Ranch High School battling for a title and the recognition as the first champion in FGCL summer softball history. The 1 seed Myakka City River Mocs versus the 2 seed Manatee Squeeze here this afternoon on Championship Tuesday. Hello everybody, I'm Gray Robertson along with our entire Stream Live Tampa crew. Very excited to bring you the coverage of this championship game today. Erica Beach will be my analyst. She'll be along in just a minute. This should be a lot of fun. The Mocs, the 1 seed, got here thanks to one victory, a 5-inning win over the Lynx, 9-1 in the semifinals after a first-round bye. The Squeeze got here after an impressive, beyond impressive, pair of run rule victories. In the first round, it was a 13-1 decision in 5 over Fast Pitch U. In the semis, an 11-0 win in 5 over the Pioneers. And now we see the two best teams. Yes, they're seeded 1 and 2, but they have appeared to be the most complete from the beginning of the season to the end. And you can tell because 2 of the 3 times these squads have faced off, it has been amazing. Game 1, the Squeeze won 3-2 over the River Mocs. That was the first game of the season where you really saw the elite nature of this summer softball. Game 2, the Mocs, it was a weird game. We only had one umpire. The Mocs took control early, got an 8-2 win over the Squeeze. Game 3, the Squeeze won in extras, 2-1 over the River Mocs. That was last Thursday. A very impressive pitching performance by both Kenna Wilkie and Maddie Davis. Davis for the Mocs, Wilkie for the Squeeze. I expect us to see at least one of them pitch at some point today. Squeeze 17-5 overall this summer. River Mocs 20-2 overall this summer. This is the title game we were hoping for. This is the title game we thought would happen, and it's the title game we're getting here in the inaugural FGCL summer softball season. Now we'll step aside for the playing of a national anthem. Thanks, Whitney Houston. And now we're ready for the FGCL Summer Softball Championship game. The River Mocs, the 1 seed, they're the home team, so your visitors, the Manatee Squeeze. And here are the starting lineups. For the Squeeze, leading off, it's Stormy Kotzelnick. Jordan Wolfe will bat second. Taylor Johnson in the 3 spot. Nikki Cochran will clean up, and Kenna Wilkie will bat 5th. Alexis Johns will bat 6th. Megan Ricks in the 7 spot. Paige Schindler, red hot at the plate, she'll bat 8th. Abby Stewart in the 9 hole, and Sarah Berfume will bat 10th. They will face in the circle the MVP, Mac Leonard, the righty out of Illinois State from Normal, Illinois. On the summer, a 1.37 ERA, 46 innings pitched, 30 hits, 18 runs, 9 of those earned, 17 walks, 46 strikeouts. Leonard has compiled a 10-0 record, and opponents against her are batting 171. Leonard made an appearance in the victory over the Lynx. She got the start, went 4 innings, gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. Getting the start today because A, she's MVP, and B, only 49 total pitches in the semifinal against the Lynx. Leonard's scouting report, she's got every pitch in the book, basically. The change, the rise, the curve, the screwball, drop to both sides. That, to me, has been her deadliest pitch to keep hitters off balance. Her go-to is that drop ball as well as the screw, and she's able to work down in the zone, and she'll have to do that against a very potent lineup, the best team batting average in the FGCL, the Manatee Squeeze. Defense for the Mocs, Turgo in left, Jansen in center, Benson in right, Emily Erickson at third, Shubert at short, Ari Quinones at second, Claire Ginder at first, and Kaylee Erickson behind the dish. Should be a fun battle between these two. Again, they've met 3 times. The first game was an instant classic. Game 2, some strange circumstances that the Mocs took advantage of to get an 8-2 victory. And Game 3, that extra innings wild one, last Thursday in Week 5. Again, glad that you're with us here on Stream Live Tampa. We'd love to hear from you all day long as the championship goes forward. I'm Gray Robertson. Erica Beach will be along in just a moment. Should be a lot of fun to watch this one because, as I've always said, especially when it comes to Final Fours and basketball, college football playoff semifinals, when the semifinals are lopsided, that usually means we get a great championship. Let's hope that trend gets going here. Stormy Kotzelnick will be your first batter here in the FGCL championship game. Kotzelnick, the incoming freshman, heading to Washington, your FGCL Rookie of the Year. Out of Carmel, Indiana, hitting .457 this summer with 22 RBIs, 6 home runs, 2 triples, 10 doubles, .458 RISP. .468, excuse me. And I say that RISP number because that shows just how clutch she has been. She has been the big bat to get innings started, and she's come through late in games for her team. She's going to make Washington even better than they already are. Heather Tarr certainly getting a good one up in Seattle. In there for a strike. Out in front of the off speed there. This feels, it's crazy. This is the first at-bat of the game, and this feels like a set-the-tone kind of at-bat. You've got the competitiveness of Mac Leonard in the circle, one of the fiercest competitors I've ever seen, and I've just been watching her for 5 weeks, versus Stormy Kotzelnick, who is just a winner. What a battle to start off our championship. And Kotzelnick wins this round, out to left. That's a leadoff single for the Squeeze here in the top of the first. And we're off and running. Konselnick puts a charge in it every time she gets bat on ball. That played a little bit out, or excuse me, that pitch a little bit outside the plate, and Konselnick able to rope it out to left. Here's Jordan Wolfe. Strike one to the Louisville junior from South Elgin, Illinois. 351 this summer, 20 of 57 with 6 runs batted in, a triple, 4 doubles, 431 on base percentage. 5 for 6 with an RBI and a triple in the playoffs. And against the Mocs, 3 for 8 with a double and a run scored. Two and one. Chopper up the middle. Shubert will have to hurry in time. Nicely done by Lizzie Shubert over at short. But Konselnick takes second, 1 down.
Batting number 21, University of Wisconsin,
Taylor Johnson, your home run champ, will step up now. Won the home run derby. Had a big time blast in the semis. And she hits this one well out to right. Making the catch is Benson to second, and a throw on time gets Konselnick right there. But Konselnick slides in as Benson's throw was a little off target. 2 outs.
batting number 31, Northwestern,
Nikki Cochran, sophomore from Northwestern out of Downers Grove, Illinois, steps up. Cochran hitting .446 this summer with 24 runs batted in. And by my count, that's now second in the FGCL. 8 homers, 7 doubles, 557 OBP. She's hitting .400 with runners in scoring position, and that's the situation here with Konselnick at second. In the postseason, Cochran 2 for 5 with 6 runs batted in, a home run, and a double. Slow roller to first. Kinder's got it, and that'll do it. The squeeze strands a runner in scoring position, and we are ready to go. The FGCL championship game very much underway, and now we will see Jenna Green take the circle for the squeeze, and that potent Mocs offense come to the plate. Scoreless, 1 and 2 battling for a title. Heading to the home half of the first inning, here is the lineup for the top-seeded Myakka City River Mocs. 20 and 2 overall. They won their semifinal over the Lynx 9-1 and 5 to get here. Leading off, it is your MVP Mac Leonard. Ari Quinones will bat second. Lizzie Shubert, Offensive Player of the Year, will bat third. Jenny Jansen cleaning up. Emily Erickson will bat fifth. Kaylee Erickson in the sixth spot. Alyssa Mullis bats seventh. Gabby Benson bats eighth. And Maggie Turgo bats ninth. Coach Michaela Transu telling me this is the first time all summer that she has only had 9 bat. They will face in the circle Jenna Green, the freshman from Presbyterian out of Hamlet, North Carolina. Week 2, Justin's World of Softball Player of the Week. A 9-1 record this summer, a 2.15 ERA. She's gone 58 2/3 innings. And she opens the game with a strike to Mac Leonard. 41 hits in those 58 2/3. 21 runs, 18 earned. 26 walks, 84 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 192 against Green. Threw a one-hitter and 5 against Fast Pitch U with 11 Ks yesterday. The MVP quickly down 0-2. Leonard, MVP not just because of her pitching prowess. She's also hitting .485, 17 RBI, 4 homers, a triple, 6 doubles, .570 on-base percentage. 3 for 9 with an RBI and a home run in this series. From Green, very spinny pitcher. Mixes it well. The rise and change combo is deadly. When that's on, she's darn near impossible to beat. She can throw that changeup at any point. Set the squeeze defense for you in just a moment. Out in front, and Green starts off with a strikeout, 1 down. Ari Quinones will step up. Washington sophomore from Vista, California. Ball 1 to Quinones. 385 this summer, 13 RBI, 2 homers, 6 doubles, 459 OBP. And against the squeeze, 4 for 9 with an RBI and a couple doubles. She has been really great in the 2-hole all summer. Defense for the squeeze, Perfume in left, Johns in center, Wolfe out in right. Johnson at third, Ricks at short, Kotzelnick at second, Cochran at first, and Abby Stewart getting the catching duties here in the championship. You can see the wind, again, has not gone away, because of course not. It's shaking everything around. It's blowing the trees. It's coming into the hitters right now. I joked with Michaela Transu, we probably need to move field so we can hit with the wind. Hopefully we won't see the power negated by the gusting breeze here today, because these are two of the best home run teams in the league. Quinones hits that one well, but foul. Quinones in the game against the Lynx was 2 for 3 with a couple RBI, double, couple runs scored. I think she's a fascinating little piece for Heather Tarr at Washington. So many things you can do with Quinones in the lineup. She's good at second base as well. She hits that one out to left. Well struck, that's past Perfume. And Quinones stops at second. Add another double against the squeeze. And the Mocs have a runner in scoring position in the first inning. And setting up the Offensive Player of the Year, Lizzie Shubert. Shubert, the junior from Stetson, out of Waycross, Georgia. Week 1 Player of the Week. 382 average this summer. League leader in 25 runs batted in. Straight up on the first pitch. Out of play. 7 home runs, a triple, 6 doubles. My favorite stat, though, Lizzie Shubert is hitting .464 with runners in scoring position this summer. 3 for 10 against the squeeze in the series. Trying to put the Mocs on the board here in the bottom of the first. Big cut, 1 and 2. That gets away. Quinones takes third. And the Mocs are 60 feet away from putting a run up here in the first. Full count. Honestly here, I walk Shubert. Full count. Don't let her be the one that beats you. That's what happened. Shubert will take first. Runners on the corners with one out here, bottom one.
Now batting number 28 from Southern Illinois University,
Jenny Jansen, junior from SIU out of Warrenton, Maryland. 323 average of the summer. Take strike one. 13 RBI, a couple homers, 4 doubles, 389 OBP, but only 292 with runners in scoring position. So again, another reason why walking Schubert's not the worst thing in the world. Get a big drop and clutch hitting. Ooh, watch out. Wake up. Good morning, Blue. Jansen is hitless against the squeeze this summer, 0 for 9 with a walk, a couple strikeouts, a couple runs scored. Was perfect against the Lynx, 2 for 2 with a couple ribbies, a double, a walk, a run scored. Two and two. Full count. Green is not hitting her spots on the outer edge right now. Payoff to Jansen. Bases loaded. And out comes Mario Hernandez immediately. Kenna Wilkie is warming up in the bullpen, and so as we pause, let's bring in Erica Beach, who will be with me as long as she wants today for this championship game. Erica, top 2 teams in the standings. In a game like this, you know that you're getting the aces, Green and Mac Leonard. It's all about which offense can make adjustments, right, as we go forward here in this game.
Yeah, this isn't the first time. Yeah, this isn't the first time that these teams have faced their aces. So the top 2 teams in the league, the team that does make the quickest offensive adjustments is going to be the one that comes through this, because I have a feeling that it's going to go back and forth.
It makes it exciting for us, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you have 2 strong offensive lineups like this, I'm interested to see, how this pitching prevails over 2 really strong offenses.
First pitch to Emily Erickson is a strike. Erickson, the senior out of BYU from Phoenix, hitting .279 this summer. 12 runs batted in, 3 homers, 345 with runners in scoring position. Jenna Green's got to dig deep here.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes, though, when you get bases loaded, it makes things actually a little bit easier as a pitcher. You have a lot more options for outs rather than the first and third, second and third situations where you don't have forces. Here, there's a chance you can get a double play home to 1, and we don't have necessarily a speed racer up to bat, so you have that option. If it's a sharp ground ball, you're going to be able to turn a double play from home to first.
0-2 from Green, holds off on the chase rise.
she's been going to that pitch a lot, pretty early in the counts here. And she's gotten a couple bites at it, but then she tries to go up that ladder, and that's where she's falling behind in those at-bats.
Yeah, if I'm the Mocs, I'm saying just try and lay off if you can on that pitch as Erickson hits it up. That drops. The throw to third is not in time, and a run scores. The Mocs are on the board on the RBI single by Erickson. That one just found its way to the grass.
Listen, we tell the hitters every time you get one of those hits, that counts for every BB you hit that gets caught. It averages out, right?
It does. And and because of that, Mario Hernandez is going to make a switch in the field. We already saw Berfume struggle on a double over her head hit by Quinones with the wind, and that time I think just misjudged it.
Yeah, that was off the hands. They were playing pretty, I would say pretty central there. Usually you play a little bit in with bases loaded, hoping to be able to get the out at home on a fly ball. But she got burned or wasn't ready for that little squib.
First pitch, Kaylee Erickson's outside, freshman from BYU, as the Erickson duo goes back-to-back. 274 average, 10 RBI, 4 homers. 154 this summer with runners in scoring position, as I feel like that's been the situation pretty much the whole first inning for the Mocs.
That's a tough one, too. The infield's playing in on bases loaded, so, your middle infield, shortstop, if they're playing in their regular position, she's got a shot at that. That ball that got that RBI. So, just a tough situation there, but this is when you need to dig deep and just shut the door, keep it to 1.
That one is well hit. Johns making the call. She makes the catch. The throw home. Oh, Lord, that is all the way back. Shubert comes in to score. It's 2-0.
Overthrew that one a little bit. Got excited. She was coming in on that ball. That was a tailor-made ball to make the play at home, but she just overthrew that guy.
It is clear, even though we're just in the bottom of the first, the wind is going to maybe be the MVP of this game either way.
But listen, Gray, wind had nothing to do with that throw.
No,
Let's be real.
The throw could have been blowing the other direction and still would have gotten to the backstop. Lexi Johns was amped.
Yeah, putting the ball in the air right now with the good gusting wind, that can definitely make things happen, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see what happens for Alyssa Mullis, junior out of Georgia Southern, Juliet, Georgia native, 322 average this summer, 16 runs batted in, 5 homers, 4 doubles. A hit here, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but you got the MVP in the circle and Mac Leonard. The Squeeze has a great offense, but giving up a 4 spot in the first inning would be very tough to come back from in a game like this.
It's definitely hard to go one at bat at a time when you feel like you have such a big deficit.
Wow, that almost added 3.
Well, 5-0 is even harder, right? Yeah, she definitely got barrel on that. Just foul, though. But, you've got to shut the door. 2-run lead is not anything that feels too difficult to overcome as an offense, and I think you can mentally stay in the game much better than 4 or 5.
This is a big pitch. 1-2 outside. And that is the pitch, Erica, that Jenna Green either isn't hitting her spots, is missing too far outside, or just isn't getting the swings that she's looking for right there.
Yeah, that's her curveball. She looks like she's overthrown it a little bit, trying to get it off the plate so that she's not, not leaving it too fat for the hitters. But you can definitely see she's really overthrowing it.
1 run will score. Here comes 2. What a throw! The tag is not there! What a slide by Emily Erickson to get around it. And the Mocs take a big 4-0 lead here in the first.
Man, she just threw her barrel at that. That was pretty. I actually thought that was a pretty good curveball on the outside part of the plate, but she just stuck her bat out and got enough barrel on it. And if you saw, second base was shaded up the middle slightly. I think she likes to pull a little bit more often than she goes with, so you could tell the defense was shaded that direction. And man, good piece of hitting right there.
And look, props to Jordan Wolfe. What a throw from right. I have no clue how Emily Erickson got around the tag from Abby Stewart, but that was ballerina-esque nimbleness right there.
Oh, that was Twinkle Toe City happening over there. And honestly, the catcher caught on her knees, so she was stuck. She could only reach. She couldn't cover any ground for that tag.
Gabby Benson hits it up in the air. A 4-0 lead for the River Mocs. And what a gut punch here in the bottom of the first for the Squeeze. They destroyed it offensively yesterday. I mean, they were all over it. They're going to need a similar outing today if they want to get back in this game against the MVP, Mac Leonard.
Well, if there's a team in this league that can do it, I would say the Squeeze is one of those teams that has the lineup diversity and power to be able to put up some big innings. So I wouldn't count anyone out right now. There's a lot of softball left to play.
Yeah, if you're going to give up a 4 spot, you want to do it in the first. Get it out of the way so that you have plenty of time to respond.
Chip away is what we say. Chip away the rest of the game. You just get 1 or 2 an inning, just keep chipping away at that lead, and then you have 1 breakout inning, and then it's a whole different ball game.
Of course, that means you got to get out Gabby Benson, the sophomore from Georgia State out of Buford. 333 this summer with 12 RBI. 2 for 2 with a double yesterday. And it is really interesting. I mentioned Jenna Green not getting the swings, but she's also not getting the misses right now. Even on foul balls, the Mocs are getting pretty consistent contact against Green.
Yeah, that's tough. That's when, as a pitcher, you almost want to back off on your speed a little and focus a little bit more on your spin. Getting the break.
Over to Konselnick to retire the side. What an inning for the Mocs. A single by Erickson, a sac fly, and a 2 RBI double by Alyssa Mullis. Don't let Liz get hot. It's 4-0 River Mocs as we head to the second. Okay, so Erica, now let's get your thoughts on the MVP, Mac Leonard. She comes out. She's been dastardly of late in the circle, but now she's got a 4-run lead. How does the mindset change for pitchers when you were first out there, it was tied, now you've got a pretty big cushion pitching against an offense like the Squeeze?
You're pitching for outs now. Your mentality changes to where you have now, you've got 18 outs that you got to worry about, not 20. You don't have to worry about the other team putting together big innings. You just got to minimize it and just throw for outs. Just get out there. You have lots of confidence. You don't have to be as careful. That's the big thing as a pitcher. When you don't feel like you have to be perfect, a lot of times that's when you become perfect, is when you let yourself go and don't feel like you have to control every little thing. So that's really the nice part about getting an early lead as a pitcher. You just want to make sure that they don't go on cruise control. That's the only thing that can bite you in the booty, but during this game, is staying on cruise control and thinking you can sit on that. And you never want to sit on your lead early, because that will give them the opportunity, the Squeeze, to take the momentum.
Yeah, and I mean, very critical, I think, for the Squeeze to at least make this, even if they don't score, it's got to be lengthy. They've got to foul off some pitches. They've got to get a base runner or two. They've got to find a way to like you said, chip away. Even if they don't get a run across, they got to chip away a little bit at the momentum. And they'll turn to Kenna Wilkie to try and do that here to start off the second. Whoa, that was a swing that would have put it back in put it in my backyard in Alabama right there.
Yeah, she was coming out to make a statement with that swing.
Wilkie hitting .386, 15 RBI, a couple homers, 444 OBP. Against the Mocs this summer, 2 for 8 with a run scored. Gray Robertson, Erica Beach, your team guiding you along this championship. As Wilkie gets the leadoff single. Maybe the throw to first is not in time, as Wilkie had to really turn on the jets to beat it out. It was a nice attempt by Benson to get it in, but the Squeeze has a runner on to start off the second.
What a good piece of hitting on that. That was a very outside pitch, and she just got enough on it to go with it. And what a scrappy at bat to do something to get some momentum back after that half inning.
Wonder what we'll see from Alexis Johns, the slapper, already moving to bunt. No, she moves away and swings and misses.
Yeah, she's got a lot of tools in her toolbox. She can drop it. She's got great speed. She can, she obviously has the short game, the slap game there too. And she can hit away. She can really do a lot of things in the box.
Well, and the beauty of Alexis Johns, the sophomore from Florida International, hitting .344 this summer, you can ask her to lay down a quote-unquote sack bunt knowing that she has a chance to beat it out. So it's not like a straight-up sacrifice if she were to try and lay one down, although now down 0-2, that won't happen. Instead, she slaps it to third. Nice play by Emily Erickson. to get the force over at second.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, you know, in a sacrifice situation, if she was going to be doing that, they've got the opportunity to get the force out at second. So that's one of the reasons you don't necessarily want to put the bunt down in that situation with a defense like this. But yeah, now, I mean, they've got wheels on one now.
Yeah, Johns 5 of 5 this summer in stolen bases. Squeeze tops in the league in SBs. Won't need it. Or maybe they will. That one was batted down by Leonard to first, not in time to get Ricks. That looked like a base hit off the bat, but I think Leonard just got a glove on it to make it easy for Shubert to step on the bag and retire Johns.
Just enough to slow that ball down for him. That was, I thought that was through for sure. And man, good job, Matt, getting that glove on it.
This could be a pretty disappointing inning for the Squeeze. They've had some well-hit balls. Schindler takes strike one. Paige Schindler, though, has been a story. On the summer, the Louisville Junior is hitting .412 with 11 RBI. All those runs batted in have come in the last week and a half, including 2 homers yesterday.
I got it. Yeah, talk about the right time to get hot. Can you time that any better?
I mean, I don't think she has had a hit in her college career at Louisville. I have the stats on my computer, and she hadn't really done much at the plate until last week. But Mario Hernandez, the head coach, had a feeling, and here we are.
Mac is throwing that off speed early to her, keeping her off balance. I like it. Mac doesn't throw that as often as I wish she would because she has great velocity with her faster pitches. And if she could really dial in on that off speed, that makes her next level dangerous.
0-2 to Schindler. Outside 1 and 2. Do you feel as we watch these teams play, you know, you're the head coach of the Pioneers, you open with the Squeeze. You played the Mocs early on in the season as well. Have you seen improvements over the last 5 weeks as Leonard grabs it and throws it to first for out number 3?
I've seen improvement with every athlete in this league in the last 5 weeks. I'm going to be honest. You know, you have to think about it. These athletes came in in the middle of June after being off for months and months and months. Hadn't seen live pitching, haven't pitched against hitters, haven't fielded a live ground ball off of a bat since, you know, March. And so seeing kind of everyone get the routine, get their rhythm going a little bit. That first week was, I think, a lot of people just figuring their lives out again and just getting back on the field and remembering what it's like to be in that team atmosphere on the field and the live aspects of it that you can't replicate in practice. And then every week since that first week, all I've seen is the athletes get better and better and better and better. And it's been so fun to watch. And this is every team. I mean, every single team here I have enjoyed watching just improve, watch the girls get their confidence back. And I just know that every athlete that participated this summer is going to be going back into their clubhouse this fall. They're going to be the most prepared athletes in their team.
Well, I was just watching over in the dugout a long discussion between Squeeze head coach Mario Hernandez, Jenna Green, and Kenna Wilkie was right there as well. What was that conversation about? We see Green back in the circle. I'm sure a very tough decision for Coach Hernandez. As much as he wants to ride or die with his ace, not a great first inning for Jenna Green against the Mocs.
Yeah, I think they probably were talking about, listen, like we're starting nobody on, nobody out. It's a fresh inning. This is the point where you just attack as if the score is 0-0. You don't take the baggage from the last inning into this one. She's a great pitcher. She throws great innings. Having one bad inning does not dictate what the rest of this game is going to look like for her. So I honestly think he's just trying to keep her confidence up and just saying, go out and dominate. Like, we'll fight back for you.
And we'll see what Jenna Green can do, and we'll see if there is trouble here in the bottom of the second. If there is a short leash on Green as 9-1-2 comes up. Turgo, Leonard, Quinones. Claire Ginder, the flex, she's playing over at first, but not batting today. First game this summer, the Mocs have not gone with the 10 in the batting order. First pitch to Turgo is foul. Are we safe? Yes, we are. 0-1.
Way behind us. We're good. We're good.
Okay.
I'll protect you, Greg.
Yeah, thanks. Well, we got to protect the equipment first, and then it's up to us.
Okay, I'll do a dive over the equipment and make sure we're good.
Erica Beach, woman of the people. 0-1 to Turgo. A ball. Turgo, the Western Kentucky Hilltopper from Lithia, hitting .313 this summer. 1 for 8 against the Squeeze with an RBI in the series. But I assume, and I've been reading those stats just for context for the viewers and listeners, but what you've done previously in the series doesn't matter at all when there's a championship at stake as Ricks gets eaten up. And Turgo takes first on the first error in the field today.
I'm telling you, though, the most important out is that first batter. You have got to get that leadoff out. We have to make the play. You cannot, especially walking or hitting a hitter to lead off an inning. That leadoff run literally scores probably 75% of the time. You have to squash it that first out.
And I'm sure all the worse when it's the 9-hole hitter. As good as Maggie Turgo has been this summer, that's an out you have to have before you go back to the top that had so much success in the first inning.
100%. You have to get that 9 hitter. You don't want to roll over and get deeper into the meat of their lineup.
Mac Leonard struck out in the first. She's just even the count 1-1.
Man, she has got a stick. I'm just telling you. Like you said, when we were talking about the league MVP, and every coach in the league was like, yep, Mac Leonard, unanimous.
It was so funny. We were at that lunch. Ryan Moore says, all right, let's vote MVP, and the first voice I hear is the woman standing a little bit behind us, Lindsay Fico, just yelling Mac Leonard, and everybody said, yep, Mac Leonard, and there really wasn't any discussion as Leonard, I guess, got clipped a little bit by that one. Either way, 2 on, nobody out, and those are the miscues you don't want if you're the squeeze.
Yeah, these are the mistakes that are controllable that you just can't have when you're trying to make a comeback and trying to squash their momentum.
We had 4 of 5 games go to run rule yesterday. I'm just saying, this is not the start the squeeze envisioned, and it could spiral really quickly with the part of the order that's coming up now. Quinones doubled in the first, and then you've got Shubert on deck.
Yeah, this is a dangerous spot. I mean, this is why they're in the heart of the lineup here. They've been productive all year.
Right up the middle off of Green. Kotzelnick tags Leonard. A little pushy there, gets the force.
Oh, I think they just threw someone out.
Who got tossed?
Wait, who? Stormy?
Did
Mac?
Did Mac Leonard just get thrown out of a championship?
It's not me.
No.
Oh, who is it?
Stormy just got tossed? Wait, he's pointing at Mac.
He's pointing at Mac Leonard and saying she's been tossed.
Oh, dear me.
This cannot happen.
No, you can't do that. You can give a warning. You got to give her a warning or something there. You can't just toss a kid for playing physical.
Oh, man. I feel for Michaela Trancy right here. She's one of the sweetest people I know. There's no way Transu should not get tossed right here, because I would be going absolutely berserk right now. That you cannot make that call either side in a championship game. No. That cannot happen. That is absolutely absurd. That is absurd.
That's that my friend is the plot thickens. I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Never. And, oh, man, I don't want to turn this into an episode of Out of the Box, but something that Tom Canterbury and I always talk about is how the umpires should never, ever be a story. At any level, at any type of game, they did a great job of it in the semifinals. They just became a story here today. Tossing Mac Leonard here in the bottom of the second. Unreal.
I'm speechless. I literally am sitting here with my mouth open with the microphone. Like, I don't even know how to respond to this. Wow.
First pitch to Lizzie Shubert, and you're right, this is a complete game changer. Absolute game changer. Because Leonard all of a sudden is out of the circle. And now they have to go to, I assume, Maddie Davis. She's got to get warm.
They just ran out to the bullpen. I just saw them go.
Shubert out to the left. That's all the way to the wall. Maybe the Mocs can make it a moot point. The tag of Quinones is not in time, and that's a double for Shubert to make it 5-0 Mocs.
This is incredible.
What?
Like you were saying, though, I tell best umpires in the country are the ones you don't remember.
Right.
The ones that you don't, you get done with the game and you're like, huh, didn't even notice them. And that usually means that they just did their job really well and that they didn't have to draw attention to themselves or, inject themselves in the game, if you will.
Yeah, we're going to see a pitching change for the Squeeze. I think at this point it's a must, because if you're the Squeeze, Mac Leonard's gone. All of a sudden, as much as it shouldn't have happened, and it's a terrible situation that we're seeing here in a championship, and frankly, this is unfortunately, I think, depending on what the result is, maybe not, but this is probably going to be the thing we remember from this game. The Squeeze now has an opening, but they can only have that opening if they get out of this second inning now down just 5-0.
They have got to shut the door in this inning. I mean, they're giving the River Mocs way too many outs. You cannot give a lineup this strong 5 outs an inning and extend those innings. You just can't do it. And I definitely think that, one, you're right, they need to make a change. They have to get another arm in the circle, because it's at this point they just have the confidence against her right now,
right.
And she's not fooling anyone. And sometimes it's just not your day. It doesn't mean you're a bad pitcher. And I always tell athletes, I'm like, you can't let one at bat or one game dictate your quality as an athlete. You have your good, you have your bad. So it's not taking anything away from the pitcher. It's just she's not fooling them in this moment. So it's time to make a change, see if we can keep this game under some sort of control, and just start chipping away every single inning.
Kenna Wilkie will take over, the righty from Northwestern out of Braidwood, Illinois. 2.22 ERA this summer, 53 2/3 innings, 33 hits, 23 runs, 17 earned, 33 walks, 75 Ks, 8-4 record. Opponents batting 170. I'd give a scouting report, but you scouted her yesterday. She was the pitcher that started against the Pioneers. So give us your opinion of Kenna Wilkie. What have you seen from her, and what does she do well in the circle?
Yeah, she's gonna mix. She's gonna mix corners. She's gonna throw a little off speed. She threw that almost every batter for us during our game with her. So she loves to go to that. She keeps it low in the zone, and with that off speed, and then she has a little up pitch that you're gonna see her throw quite a bit when she gets ahead. She's going to try to get them to bite and start popping things up and seeing if she can get some outs that way. But she really, truly mixes all 4 corners, high, low, fast, slow, all the fun things. So I like her diversity as a pitcher, and she's got a great mentality out there. You'll see her, how she carries herself. She's got a good pitcher's kind of approach. She's very controlled, but real focused and dialed in. You'll see that.
My favorite story from Mario Hernandez, as I think Michaela Transu now talking to the other umpire, seeking some kind of explanation for the abrupt ejection of the MVP, Mac Leonard, which again is farcical and absolutely ridiculous. What I love about Kenna Wilkie, against the Lynx early on in the year, it was a 1-0 game going to the 7th. Mario Hernandez came out and said, all right, we're going to bring in Jenna, and Wilkie said, no, this is my game. She's a bulldog out there, and she's going to have to bull her way through, because runners are on a second and third with, as I check, 1 out. And it might get more. Oh no, they would have had Quinones, but Stewart couldn't grab it. And it's 6-0 Mocs.
In that situation, though, you've got to go ball first. She was, in her mind, already tossing back to the pitcher by the time she got to that ball, and she couldn't get a grip on it. And so that's one of the ones you got to make sure you take care of the ball first. They would have had her.
They totally would have had her, because it took a lucky bounce. It got back a lot quicker. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, this is a very deep backstop.
1-1 to Jenny Jansen, who walked in the first. Okay, so 6-0 River Mocs. Schubert's over at third now. And now, again, it's got to end at 6 here. I mean, you can't, if you're Kenna Wilkie, you cannot give the Mocs anything else here in the second.
She's gone to that pitch 3 times now, 3 rises in a row. And that's the tough part of being a rise ball pitcher, someone that throws it up in the zone, is that you do get a lot more strikeouts, but you also get a lot more home runs given up. Yeah. And that's something to look for, because if you miss, it's fat. So you have to make sure you're spinning it. And right now, she was down in the count and threw another one. That to me is a little concerning, because that you've got to get a strike pitch in here at this point.
Well, it's interesting. Usually when she comes in, I feel like we see her attack more down in the zone and mix in the changeup. There's the change for strike 2.
There it is. Oh, I'd be throwing that every other pitch probably. But I loved my changeup, so I would have done that. Like, I'd throw that thing 3 times in a row if I needed to.
Hey, I know. I've talked about it a lot. The best changeup in the league was your pitcher Taylor Gilmore, and she had it working yesterday in the semis or in the first round.
No doubt about it. There you go.
Up in play. Could the wind play tricks again? Cadleb, the new left fielder who came on in the first, made the catch for out number 2, as every at-bat, it seems, is just scarier when the Mocs put it in play compared to what we've seen from the squeeze.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of a breeze, but at that point, I love how the left fielder attacked that ball, because when you're coming in, it's a lot easier than the poor shortstop that's drop-stepping, running behind. You can't cover as much ground going backwards, so I love that she took control of that, and she's coming in if that runner does decide to tag and go.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good job by Cadleb as Emily Erickson steps in and takes a ball.
And that's a great job, coming back and responding, getting an out. That was a good off-speed pitch. Got her on the front foot. Didn't hit it hard. Still looks exciting when we get on the field right now. But, the pitcher, she just did her job on that one. Man, I'm just... As a hitter, Erickson here is, you've got nothing to lose here. This is where the hitters, you see them starting to free swing a little bit more, kind of like that. And the pressure's off for the hitters, so they have a whole lot more freedom in the box, and you're going to see them take bigger swings. They're going to be shooting for the wall.
Yeah.
They're not manufacturing one run at a time now. Their mentality's completely changed. Whereas the squeeze, when they come up to bat, they're going to be working on manufacturing runs and trying to create a rally.
Yeah, the hole is deeper for the squeeze now, but again, if you're just joining us, you have missed the most interesting, dumbest inning I've ever seen. Mac Leonard ejected on flagrant obstruction, we were told. So she's your MVP. She's not in the circle anymore. I assume we'll see Maddie Davis. She went off to the bullpen. See what happens when we go to the top of the third, as that one just misses high. Full count to Emily Erickson.
Yeah, that is I can't say I've ever seen that call, much less someone ejected because of that. I've never, we've seen warnings where they'll be like, hey, next time you have to get down. You have to get out of the way of the throw, things like that. And I've just never seen that before. And with the league MVP of all people.
Of course, the payoff clips her in the knee. Erickson will take first as another free base given to the Mocs now. Runners on the corners here with 2 outs. And the other Erickson, Kaylee, stepping up.
These are a pair of Arizona girls right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your turf.
That's my turf for sure. Super athletic sisters right here. I love it.
Yeah, and so cool that, they're years apart at BYU, but getting to play together for the Cougars, playing here in this league. Kaylee's already got an RBI today, sac fly in the first. Oh, wow.
That knocked her Evo shield off. Wow.
All of a sudden, Alyssa Mullis is the most critical batter in this game, because unless something changes, you can kind of see the wheels creaking a bit on the squeeze bus right now, and there's a lot of pressure to get Mullis out here with the bases loaded.
This is the deal breaker moment. This really is. This is the point of no return. If she gets a big hit here, or a gap shot, anything like that, that's a tough deficit to overcome.
You don't have Mac Leonard, but the rest of the Moc staff isn't exactly bad, so an 8-run or more cushion could be enough.
They've got a great staff.
Yeah.
Let's be real, that they didn't get to 19-2 with one arm. They got there with 3 strong pitchers that have given them great innings, and they all have different strengths. So it's pretty fun getting to know that staff as well. But they have a staff. It's truly not a one-arm team. So they're going to be fine, especially with this kind of run lead.
Mullis had a 2 RBI double in the first. Something like that would put us in early run rule territory. I'm very excited between innings to take a look at some of the Facebook comments from the viewers after what's gone on here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah. Maybe they had a different view than us. I don't know.
I just to eject anyone in a championship unless a punch is thrown, I think is ridiculous. But that's me. Maybe I'm old school. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems a little excessive. I mean, I'm just all about, like, throw them a warning.
Right.
You know what I mean? Keep it clean, ladies. Like, don't, and that's it, you know?
This will be the pitch Mullis wants, the 2-0. Ooh, 3-0, and
Oh, boy.
gotta put it in the zone because there's nowhere to put her on the base paths.
This is a little sticky situation, my friend. Oh, boy. Okay. This stuff right here, though, this is what I love about this sport, though. Like, I've missed this, the adrenaline rush, the nerves, the excitement. Like, this is what it's all about right here.
Do you go change? I was said that again. You wouldn't think throw a change up on 3-0, but I feel like it's the only pitch we've seen Kenna Wilkie be able to consistently get in the zone so far since she came in.
I would definitely go to that now because this hitter's like literally about to try to tee off on something, and she's been throwing it for a strike.
Full count.
Like the aggressiveness, though. She's not in there to walk. She wants to hit some runs in. That's a hitter mindset right there. Though.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Alyssa Mullis. Only one hit in the series prior to today. That was a 3-run homer.
I mean, if you're going to get one hit, that's a hit to have right there.
Could she have her second hit of the day right here? Nope, it's an RBI walk, and it's 7-0 River Mocs.
That is tough, falling behind that quick. And this all goes back to that leadoff hitter of the inning.
Yep.
That's all I have to say is that starting off the inning with an error that on a ball that should have been a routine out, and then putting another runner on because of the pitcher. I mean, you cannot give those free bases. They'll bite you in the booty every time.
Absolutely. Yeah, Benson. Again, you know, it's 7. You feel like a walk isn't the worst thing in the world, considering what could have happened there, but the margin keeps getting deeper. The hole, the opening is getting further and further away for the squeeze right now, and you feel like unless an out is made right here, even though we're just 2 innings in, coming back is going to be, the odds of that happening are very low.
Well, yeah, I mean, the squeeze have, you know, you've got to scrap for every run. So you don't think it's just a well you can dip out of, like, oh, let's just grab 3 runs next inning. Like, these are runs they're going to have to work really hard to get and to fight back for. And honestly, we get past that, you know, that 8 run, that game starts getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, something our good friend, and, you know, I have to give him a shout out, contractually obligated, Patrick Murphy always says is sometimes you'll blink and it's the 5th inning. And if your offense hadn't done anything, it's too late. Softball can be a slow game, but it can also be one where if you miss your chances, it's over, and you don't even realize it's happening until the final out's recorded.
Innings fly by fast, especially if you're not putting up good at-bats. You know, we've had that with our team where we've had, you know, innings where you blink and it's like, it was like 5 pitches and all of a sudden you're back on defense. And it's
another RBI walk. 8-0. No, but keep going because you're right. I mean, we've seen that more or less from the squeeze here today. They've gotten some base runners, but they've been quick. And it's been a lengthy time for the Mocs at the plate in both the first and the second.
Something to take into account is just the amount of time your team is out on defense and on the field. The tempo of the game, it's exhausting, and then you come into the dugout and you have a short little break, but you're in there for probably 2 to 3 minutes when you're out there for 20. That wears on a team as the game progresses. Everyone gets a little bit more fatigued, a little bit slower. You need to get into that dugout and stay in the dugout for a little bit here. I mean, that's as simple as it gets.
We have seen everybody, and it's a first pitch to Maggie Turgo, who earlier in this inning reached on that error we talked about, did come around to score, but you're right, that is, as we see the 2 outs on the board, that is something that looms really large here in this second frame.
No joke. No joke on that. And I like that she got ahead. I mean, at this point, you've got to throw everything you got at this hitter. You have got to get an out. mix your pitches, hit your spots, change speeds. You've got to step up as a pitcher and just end the bleeding.
2-1.
They're not being fooled by that, so
No.
I would start looking at another option to throw earlier in the counts, because it's not a strike. It doesn't ever look like a strike right now. She's having trouble keeping that rise a little bit lower in the zone where it actually looks like something they want to swing at. He has been calling a little bit higher strikes, this umpire, so that's a great strike zone for a rise ball pitcher, because hitters feel like they have to chase that now. But if you're starting it high and finishing high, that's not going to fool anyone, and she's got to get that down a little bit to make it a valid pitch. If not, it's a wasted one.
And I feel like right there, I feel like we've seen her miss outside pretty much to every batter so far. Even the rise ball, I feel like has been high and outside a couple times.
Yeah, what I've noticed is on the lefties, she's not bringing it in on them at all. She hasn't tried to bust them in on the hands.
That's a good pitch right there. Another full count. On deck is Megan Wright, who I guess is the new leadoff hitter for Mac Leonard, since Mac was unceremoniously kicked out of the championship. Swing and a miss,
That was
absolutely critical, and that ends the second as the wind picks up. Watch out. It's 8-0 River Mocs. We're going to step aside for a brief moment. Heading to the third, the squeeze needs some runs. Stay tuned. We've seen craziness even in an 8-run game right now. Wonder what will happen as we head to the top of the third. We head to the top of the third. Reading some of the comments, Lana Leonard hollering, dumbfounded is all I can say. Maggie Mound, ridiculous umpires today. Roger Godshaw, ejection was not good. I'll paraphrase, big time. These umpires are terrible. At least 48 says, proud of Michaela Transu for not getting thrown out, which I agree. I mean,
that showed some serious self-control for Michaela. And like, I don't know how you maintain your composure.
Yeah, man, but we do have a new pitcher in the circle for the Mocs, and that's Maddie Davis. Mac Leonard ejected in the previous inning after what was it again? Intentional flagrant obstruction. I mean, gracious. So Maddie Davis is your new pitcher. Freshman out of UCF. She starts off against Abby Stewart and throws a strike. Davis, 1.40 ERA, 40 innings flat, 30 hits, 10 runs, 8 earned, 10 walks, 21 strikeouts, a 3-2 record. Another pitcher who's got a lot of tools, Erica, and has been really spinning it well lately.
That was a beautiful pitch. She's got, you just saw that really good off speed, that changeup. Yeah, she mixes it really well. She's a feisty little pitcher in the mound, man. I dig it, and she's definitely like an emotional leader on the team. She gets fired up.
Ooh, Stewart hits that forever, but out of play, 1-2.
She hit that over the batting practice field over there. That's where it went.
Goodness gracious! If you parked in the other parking lot, watch out. Again, though, new pitcher. It's still 8-0 River Mocs here. Oh my goodness! And That missed somehow. 2-2.
Not sure where that missed.
No.
But it was a good pitch. I mean, it's still a great look. It got the hitter on her front foot. She can't time up her fast stuff. So it's still a valid, really quality pitch right there.
Feels like Stewart's got to do something here to get the inning started. You know, again, down 8-0. You got to chip away. You're not going to get all 8 in one swing, and you're probably not going to get all 8 in one inning. But you've got to find a way to at least get a couple, I think, in this third, or else, you know, who knows what will happen in the bottom half, because right now the squeeze pitching just doesn't seem to have it today.
Exactly. And like we talked about when the squeeze is on the field, this first out's important for Maddie.
Stewart lifts it out to right. The Clemson freshman has the leadoff single. That's her 10th hit of the summer. And for the third inning in a row, the squeeze has the leadoff runner on a base hit.
Yeah, great piece of hitting. Went with that pitch really well. But, I mean, it was, you know, full count. I dig that she was able to get barrel on that. But now it's about what do you do next? Because they've done this a few times already. But now what are they going to do that's different, that's going to extend this inning and get some runs on the board?
Absolutely. Jordan Cadleb will bat after replacing Berfume in the field. Cadleb takes strike one. Cadleb out of South Florida, redshirt freshman from Wesley Chapel. Her dog is Mags. Have not seen Mags in a while. I don't know if Squeezy Mags is in the building today.
Maybe he went home. Never know.
Sad day. Uh-oh. Can't do that. One down.
That's pretty frustrating as a coach right there. You know, just you have to get on top of that ball. That's softball 101 right there. Execute. You got to move your runners, especially when you're at this deficit, which I'm surprised they even bunted.
Right.
At this point, when you're chasing 8, I'm surprised they're even putting sacks down, but you've got to execute.
Well, I started to ask you about it more or less in the second when Johns was showing bunt. I was going to say, is it pressing the panic button too early to say you shouldn't bunt down 4-0? Now down 8-0? Absolutely not. You definitely, I don't think there's any reason to at this point. When we're in run rule territory, you cannot waste outs like that.
No, you definitely can't. I mean, I understand that's, you know, they're at the bottom of their lineup. They've got Stormy coming up here at the top. But at the end of the day, you've got every out is crucial at this point if you want to stay in this game and extend it again. We got to get this thing back to 7.
Yeah. Now, if there's anyone that can do it, it's Stormy Kotzelnick, who singled in the first. Big swing and a miss there, though. You know, I love watching Stormy. I love her mindset at the plate, but you do watch her, and you can tell that she is an incoming freshman and hasn't actually played college ball. I'm really excited to see what her development looks like year one under Heather Tarr at Washington in 2021.
You're going to see her name over these next 4 years.
Oh, I know. Beautiful pitch for strike 2 to Kotzelnick.
What I like about her, too, I love her diversity in the infield. She's played multiple positions. And at the bat, I like her fire. I really do. She's a really tough hitter to pitch against. And, you know, we've faced them quite a few times now through the season. And
that's a fair ball. All the way down the left field line. Stewart stops at third, and that's a double for Kotzelnick. Hey, the squeeze trying to get some of it back. They've got 2 in scoring position here with 1 out in the third.
Scrappy. That was a changeup on the outside corner. And she let that ball travel deep enough that she could poke that thing down the third base line.
And how beautiful was that? She swung out of her shoes at a changeup earlier in the at-bat. That's an in-at-bat adjustment, which is rare at any age. But to see that from somebody who was playing high school ball fairly recently, that's impressive.
That's next level. The team, the hitters that make the quickest adjustments within their at-bat are able to. Those are the ones that typically are going to be on the top echelon of collegiate or players at any level.
Jordan Wolfe takes the 1-0 in the zone for another strike. And one final thing about Stormy Kotzelnick. I said, yeah, we're going to see her name everywhere. I know next year, Alabama, as I've mentioned a lot, I'm the radio guy at Alabama, the Crimson Tide and the Huskies will be matched up in OKC. And I just know Stormy will be a part of that result one way or another. And I'm not sure I'm emotionally ready for that, frankly.
How much fun is that going to be? Getting to see.
It'll be great. And we kind of talked about it a little bit during the All-Star game. It's going to be so fun to follow all these teams next year for sure.
My Twitter's going to be blowing up. I'm going to have notifications for like 33 different colleges and universities, I feel, because there's so many amazing athletes that I've gotten a chance to get to know, and I'm invested in seeing how these ladies perform.
Yeah, I've already joked with Lizzie Shubert. I'll be mentioning random Stetson games on SEC Network next year. Strike to Wolfe.
The fans are going to be like, why does he love Stetson?
Why are we talking about Stetson, Kennesaw State right now? Well, it's because that's what we care about, folks.
Amen. We've become like a family here.
We really
last 5
have.
weeks.
Especially, I've got too much information statistically, random things about all these players. It's like I've known them for a long time. As Wolfe will get the squeeze on the board. Stewart crosses the plate. Wolfe taking 2. That's aggressive. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered here in the top of the third.
And that's the situation where, just a softball thing, the first baseman was nowhere to be seen as the cut. You know, you cut that ball and don't let that back runner get to second base. That's just an important softball thing, just as far as, like, eliminating big innings. You don't want that batter runner to be able to make it to second to get into that second and third position. There was not a muck to be seen in the middle of the field there when that throw went home.
So a meeting in the circle right now for the River Mocs infield. Again, it's 8-1. Certainly there's no reason to start, feeling a little tight if you're the River Mocs. You've got that huge lead for the moment. However, if the squeeze, say, get a hit from Johnson and Cochran here, maybe Wilkie comes through, and all of a sudden we're at 8-4, 8-3 going to the bottom of the third, it gets dicey because, and again, not to harp on it too much, but Mac Leonard is gone. She cannot pitch again in this game, so they're going to have to rely on Davis and the rest of the arms in that pitching staff to try and finish this one off and get the ring.
They have to step up. I mean, at the end of the day, they've stepped up all year. So I know that you don't go 19-2 on one arm, and they have thrown some really great games. So I think they're ready to. I think that it's just time to put the foot down on this inning for them right now. They need to put the kibosh on this guy.
Somebody who's put the kibosh on a ball lately is Taylor Johnson.
She's been hitting well.
It's called a segue right there. Outside to Johnson. She flew out in the first, I think, on a regular day, or even last week it was gone, but because the wind is coming in our faces right now, we're on the left side of home plate. I think it got caught up there in the teeth. But she's the home run champ for a reason, and it doesn't even have to be a home run. A base hit right now with Wolfe's speed at second makes this a 5-run ball game, I think.
Yeah, Taylor has been swinging it, and she had a little spell there where she was kind of struggling, but got out of it really well and started hitting that long ball again.
I wonder, as trivial as it may seem, she did have a rough week 4, kind of a rougher-ish week 5. She got a little bit better. Does something like the home run derby, when you can just free swing and knock it out of the park, is that something that kind of gets you feeling good, or is that just something that really doesn't matter?
Honestly,
well, there we go. Out to left. Hernandez stops Wolfe. Johnson takes second, and that's another run for the squeeze. Watch out. It's getting a little interesting here in the top of the third.
You can feel a little bit of that momentum, kind of. The squeeze are working hard to keep their energy up.
Yeah.
When you're down, it's hard. Energy is a big thing in softball. I don't think people that watch understand how important that is, that your team gives up the energy. It's really difficult to come back, but what you see is every player is up on that fence, yelling, giving all of their energy to the hitters in the box and trying to get the momentum back on their side. Softball and baseball are momentum sports.
Nikki Cochran takes the change for a strike. She's 0 for 1 today. I've got 2 thoughts about that. One, how critical does that make it that the Mocs were able to add some more runs even after Mac Leonard was ejected and with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, as Cochran pops it up. Running in is, I think that's Jansen, who's moved to first. She makes the catch for out number 2. But the second part of that, I'm not sure that fire, that excitement is there, frankly, if Mac Leonard's still in the game. I think because she's not, there's that sense of an opening.
I think so, too. I do think. I think that, one, I think it was fantastic of the River Mocs to put up more runs and not let that crazy ejection affect them.
Yes.
In that way. They put up quite a few more runs after that, and it kind of got them feisty and fired up a little bit there. I love that. And now you see how important that was.
Yeah, absolutely. Wilkie's already singled today. 1 for 1. It's 8-2 River Mocs. But runners on second and third. A base hit up the middle to the right side, and I think 2 scores. I'll amend what I said earlier. Johnson's got decent speed over at second. Pokes the change out to center, and on the run to make the catch is, I think that's Benson after a bunch of change-ups out in the field after Leonard was sent out. That'll do it. 8-2 River Mocs, but the squeeze gets 2 back, something they had to have for sure.
That's a big inning for them. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, though, the most important out of the game right now is this first batter. This first batter that they're going to face has to set the tone for the new part of this game, the second half of this game right now. So that's going to be the dictator right here. So I'm interested to see how they come out. We need them to throw better pitches, get ahead of this hitter, and get her out to start this inning. If they let her on, I'm telling you right now, they're going to put a couple more runs up.
We'll see if that happens. It is the top of the order due up, which does not include Mac Leonard. Again, it's a championship game. When we go through these journalism classes, all the work I've done for SEC Network, they tell you got to focus on the story. Unfortunately, right now, the story is not the River Mocs offense. They've exploded on the squeeze pitching, which hasn't been as sharp as they want. The story is Mac Leonard being ejected in this game and what that could mean. We just saw the squeeze put up 2 runs, and now we'll see how it could potentially change things in the batting order because we're going to see Megan Wright come in and bat in the 1 spot.
Yeah, I mean, you like to think it's only going to affect them in the circle, but with an athlete like Mac Leonard, that is a big hit to your lineup. She is the bridge on that lineup. She is one of the heart and soul of that lineup to really get things going and to, she's got power. She can do anything with her bat, and she's a dangerous person to pitch against. She is rough to get through. And, as with the squeeze, not having to see that coming to the top every time, that changes the dynamic a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll see Kenna Wilkie back out there. We head to the bottom of the third. 8-2 River Mocs. We're playing for a title. It's been a topsy-turvy day. I've gotten texts from Tara Henry, Justin McLeod. Facebook was blowing up, so a lot of people tuning in. Thank you so much for watching with us. Gray Robertson, Erica Beach. Now, on the offensive end for the Mocs, we do have to talk about their ability to get the 2-out production because we saw, I think as I look back, we saw 2 runs added in the first with 2 outs, and then 3 more runs thrown across with 2 outs.
2-run production is a huge deal. That's not something easy to do. And to have an offense that doesn't get faced by how many outs are on the board and just goes to work, that is something special because a lot of teams press when there's 2 outs and they try to do too much. And they were just out there swinging. And part of that's the momentum. Part of that's just hitting gets contagious. But, man, I love that clutch hitting.
It will be Megan Wright, your new leadoff hitter. And she takes it high for ball 1. A Apopka, Florida native, incoming freshman, going to play at UCF, but just 1 for 15 here this summer. So if you're Kenna Wilkie, I would think you're just trying to power it through the zone right here and dare Wright to put it in play. Can't give somebody with a sub-1 batting average a free base, and Wright's already up 2-0.
I'm just saying. I was going to call this. They put her on easy. She's scoring. Period. They're gonna get a couple runs. Like, you can't do this with, sub. What's her batting average again? She's under 2, right?
It's .06 or .067. I beg your pardon.
Okay, so she's under 1. I mean,
ooh,
that was questionable. I'm a pitcher too.
Yeah.
Normally I'd be like, yeah, but I mean, I'm also honest, and I know I don't even like to comment too much on umpiring and things like that because at the end of the day, that's just part of the game. It's one thing you learn to deal with as an athlete.
Right now it's really interesting. I feel like Michaela Transu, and we'll talk about her in just a moment, looked in the eyes of Megan Wright and said, just don't swing, and see if Kenna Wilkie can fit it in the zone. And right now the answer's been no.
She's been falling behind all last inning, so let's see if she can throw a couple strikes. There you go.
I mean, that is getting called, and, strike zone, we can debate that all day long, but my thing is if it's consistent, I'm okay with it. That's been consistently called. I think that's where Kenna Wilkie should try and live right now.
Until the big bats come up.
Yes.
And then you don't want to throw it there because those are...
Yeah, don't throw that to Shubert.
Let's not.
Ooh, beautiful pitch from Wilkie for a big strikeout to get out number 1.
That was big. That was a really good fight back on that because that, like we said, you cannot put her on to lead off the inning. You need that out really bad, especially with Quinones coming up.
Ari Quinones, 1 for 2, doubled, scored in the first, reached on a fielder's choice, scored on a wild pitch in the second. Interesting. I think that might have been a bit outside. 1-0.
Well, I think also she's a shorter kid, so
Fair.
I think honestly it was probably if you've got Mac Leonard up, that's a strike. But with this one, I think he adjusted that to her height, which isn't bad. Good job.
That's fair. Yeah.
Good job.
Credit where credit is due. 1-1. All right, let's talk about Michaela Transu, the head coach for the River Mocs, volunteer assistant at Missouri. Over in the third base coaching box, played at Hofstra, followed her coach Larissa Anderson, who has been keeping track of the league, another recent follower of mine on Twitter, and she's been really excited to see what Michaela has done for the Mocs, winning Coach of the Year. It's been fun to watch this team because the mindset, it is all gas, no brakes throughout games, and because of that, even when they're down late, they find ways to win. You remember early on in the year, you had this team and Quinones down to their final strike in week 1, and they just don't quit in any of these games.
That's the sign of a great team, though. And Michaela's done a really great job with this team as far as just generating that kind of mindset, that confidence. That's the one thing that you see when the River Mocs take the field is that they have this swagger about them, this confidence that when they step on the field, they just assume they're going to win, and they're going to just play hard all 7 innings. No matter how many outs are left, they're going to play hard. And that's a mindset that comes from the top because these kids are from a lot of different programs. So
right.
Michaela's done a great job of really nurturing that mindset as this group came together, and you can see it on the field. It really does. It has helped them win games.
It seemed to click very early. Even back in week 1, you could tell that this was a team that felt that togetherness, and they had the talent to back it up.
Oh, yeah. You can have the togetherness and confidence, but you got to have the talent to go
right.
with it, right? And they have it all.
Full count to Quinones. Again, right now, it just seems like Kenna Wilkie's fighting herself with some of these pitches. There will be a strike. She'll find a rise ball that hits the upper part of the zone, and then she'll throw it in the dirt that crawls back or misses way high. I'm not sure what it is right now, but she's got to fight whatever's going on in her brain to get through this third inning.
She's throwing a lot of pitches at the end of the day. She's out there forever. Even if it's not a rally inning, she's throwing so many pitches to every hitter. And that's exhausting. I'm tired watching it. So, she's got to, dial it in a little bit more, get ahead, and then, you can play around a little bit, but then you got to start hitting your spots a little bit better and just going after these hitters. You've got to get through these innings a little bit quicker. They are on the field for way too long.
You made the point about pitch count. I just did the count. Kenna Wilkie's faced 8 batters. 6 have gone full. Here's Lizzie Shubert. Fouled back. Shubert doubled and drove in a run in the second. Also scored. Walked and scored in the first.
Yeah, 6 full counts out of 8 batters. That's tiring. One thing I talk to my collegiate pitchers and this and that is you need, because when you're going deep into counts with every hitter, the tempo of the game starts to drag. That's when the tempo of the team drags again. So it's really about those quick outs. Couple pitches a batter, that's it. Get in and out and be efficient with your pitching. Don't waste pitches. That's why I hate when pitchers get 0-2. They get ahead, and then they throw a rise ball to the backstop.
That one straight up the chute. Johnson, by the way, your new catcher. She'll make the catch for out number 2. As Quinones played a little chicken at first, but heads back to the bag. 2 down. So, in fact, with the changes, Stewart is now over at third. Interesting. I'm not sure I've seen Stewart line up at third this year, but I think this is a move by Mario Hernandez saying, hey, Johnson is probably the catcher that Wilkie's most familiar with. trying to get her as comfortable as possible. First pitch to Jenny Jansen is low. She's 0 for 1, flew out in the second, and walked in the first.
Yeah, Johnson's a great force behind home plate. She's a great leader back there. She's very, to me, almost calming back there with her pitchers, and I think that's probably why she's still back there and not moved to third.
Yeah, this, again, it's 8-2 River Mocs here, bottom 3. But it also doesn't quite feel safe yet. There seems to still be that uncertainty in the air. Now that could change with that swing by Jenny Jansen. Out to center, and a beautiful catch by Alexis Johns that might have saved the game out in center field to retire the side. Wow.
That's a play that you need your outfield to make. That gives you more momentum. That ends the inning. That's the first, not the first, but that is the first inning they didn't score, right?
Yeah.
That's huge. Do you know how big that is after you put up 2 runs to come up and shut them down for an inning?
I mean, look, again, I said there's a feeling of uncertainty. Now, it almost went out the window. I think the wind kept that one in the park a little bit. But, hey, if the Squeeze can get production here from the bottom half of the order as we go to the top of the 4th, something might happen. We'll step aside. What a championship game this has already been. It's 8-2 River Mocs, but don't go anywhere because I have a feeling something crazy is still out in front of us. We'll be right back here on Stream Live Tampa. We head to the top of the 4th. 6, 7, 8 due up for the Squeeze. They trail at 8-2, but we were just talking. This one doesn't nearly feel set in stone at all as Alexis Johns steps up against Maddie Davis, second pitcher of the day by umpire decision. First pitch misses somehow to Johns. That looked pretty good.
He is not feeling the lower half of the zone, and I wouldn't even call that necessarily a low pitch. That was a mid-thigh, just below the belt kind of strike, but you got to work with what they give you, right?
Yeah. Johns is 0 for 1, hit into a fielder's choice in the second. Again, if you're just joining us, and I've had some people already text me and say what happened, who got ejected. There was a run-in on a fielder's choice play at second. Stormy Kotzelnick and Mac Leonard collided, and it was ruled that Leonard, as Johns fouls it off, I guess stretched her hands out and did a flagrant obstruction to keep Kotzelnick from maybe throwing to first, although I don't think it would have mattered. And because of that, Leonard was tossed from the game, no longer in the field pitching, no longer at the top of the order for the River Mocs.
Yeah, that was the unexpected call of the day, of the century, I feel. I've just never seen anything like that. That would have been like...
What a nice play by Johns. Poked out to deep short. No shot for Shubert. By the time she got the ball, Johns could have already touched the home run fence, as that is the 4th inning in a row. 4th inning in a row where the Squeeze has had a leadoff single.
When they scored last inning.
They did.
Here's what I think is they're going to keep playing the momentum. Like you said, they made a great catch to end that inning. They've got a little momentum. That was an amazing piece of hitting right there. A great short game there. And we've got speed on the bases, and I think they're going to do something here.
See what they decide to do with Megan Ricks. She hit into that fielder's choice in the second, or one of the multiple fielder's choices that we saw in the second inning. Chase that changeup. Right now it seems like we're seeing Maddie Davis go change on the first pitch a lot in these counts, and we're seeing the Squeeze chase that pitch low. So Ricks fouls it off. And it's when Davis throws that pitch for a strike that we've seen her really have success in the at-bat because it sets up the rest of the way, right?
Absolutely. And throwing that first strike is going to set the rest of your pitches up, and you just have to have it. And she's done a great job of busting lefties in. You saw that, like, fouling off the hands here. I think she's doing a great job of setting them up, and then you jam them a few times and do that with the changeup. That's hard to hit when you're trying to be fast to fend off an inside strike, and then a changeup comes and you're early. That's the mentality right there, and she's done a pretty good job of executing that. Johns did a great job of getting her barrel on it, but she was slapping through the zone. She was running through the box, so she was able to keep her bat in the zone. Hitting away is a lot harder to do that.
So if you're Davis, where are you going right here?
Probably, well, outside, apparently. Right when you asked that, the catcher just crept outside. I was like, I can't cheat.
No, yeah, thank you for your honesty right there. Erica Beach, again, woman of the people here in the booth. 1-2 to Ricks. That one is up in the air. This could be trouble. Benson on the run, but she makes the catch for out number 1. Again, it seems like when the Mocs have hit it in the air, it's been, I mean, like that game you play in the tennis courts in elementary school where you're just trying to see who will make a catch. The Mocs outfield has been much more secure today on those fly balls.
And it's getting gusty again. I mean, that wind, I was a little nervous about that ball because that wind was kicking up.
Paige Schindler maybe should have been added to the home run derby after what we've seen from her in this postseason. 0 for 1 today, ground out in the second, and now time is called. We're in the top of the fourth. Squeeze down 8-2 against Maddie Davis. Here we go, another pop-up. Shubert on the run. It's a nice catch for out number 2.
If I'm Mario, I steal her.
You try. I would give it a shot too. Yeah.
You got to make something happen at this point when you're getting kind of outs like that. They're mishitting the ball. You got to try to make something happen. She hasn't been thrown out yet.
Yeah, and
go for it.
And you think about it, Stewart's already got a hit today against Davis. 1 for 1. That was that leadoff single in the third. Strike 1 to the Clemson freshman. I think you're right on the money. And at worst, if she does get thrown out, you lead off with Stewart, which is what got a run across in the third, or a couple runs.
Yeah, make it so. I mean, she gets a base hit, we might score one here.
There she goes. Safe at second, and an RBI chance now for Abby Stewart. Great call.
Yeah, Mario, are you listening to me? Is he got an earbud in over there? No, that was great. It's smart. Now you get a base hit. Now you get a chance to put another run up. You're chipping away, like we said earlier. After 2 kind of unproductive at-bats after that leadoff hit, you've got to do something to get going.
One and two. Or excuse me, that was strike 3. I guess she went around on the hit and run with Johns going, so that's the end of the inning.
I didn't expect to strike out looking.
That's one where I was about to say anyway, even if it was 2 strikes, that's a pitch right there where you have to take the bat off the shoulders. Now the inning's over, and we head to the bottom of the fourth. Mocs up 8-2 with the squeeze, stranding a runner in scoring position, something at this point with the deficit the way it is that you cannot afford.
Yeah, that's a tough out, especially when you get your runner in scoring position. You just got to get scrappy there. Way to step up for Maddie, though. I mean, you've got to just tip your hat to her. She threw a really competitive inning that time and got the out when she needed it.
So we head to the bottom of the fourth. We'll step aside. Mocs up 8-2. Ken Wilkie back in the circle. She's got to keep the River Mocs where they are on the scoreboard. To the bottom of the fourth, critical for Kenna Wilkie to get a clean inning here, facing 5, 6, 7. The Ericksons, Emily, Kaylee, and then Mullis. Seen a lot of discussion again on Twitter about the obstruction call on Mac Leonard. We won't focus on it much going forward, but I think we've agreed at this point. A warning to both players, Konselnick and Leonard, would have been sufficient. Should have moved on. As Emily Erickson hit by the pitch. Second time she's been pegged by Wilkie today, and she's on first to lead it off. That's the danger zone, right, Erica?
Here we go. You already know how I feel about this.
Exactly.
Like, there's some cardinal rules in pitching is walking or hitting the leadoff hitter, giving up an 0-2 count hit. That's another big one. And yeah, that hit, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's on the 10 Commandments. No leadoff walks, no leadoff hit by pitches, don't walk the 9-hole, and Squeeze are making all those mistakes.
I think we've done them all today.
Yes.
Haven't we? It's all right, though. I mean, at the end of the day, just you've got to fight uphill a little bit here, but it doesn't mean that the inning is down for the count right off the bat.
Right.
But, you throw some good pitches here, you can turn yourself a little double play, give it to your defense, see what they can do.
Yeah, and maybe a chance to get some momentum. If the Mocs get a base runner or two on here and you get out of it, you got the top of the order coming up in the next inning.
Exactly. I mean, and just how they went out that last inning, making a great defensive play. Let your defense do the work. Turning a nice double, doing some things. That's a really fun way to get your team just like energized again. And hey, make the most of the situation at this point. You can't take it back, so go for this kid and see if you can get yourself a little ground ball double play.
Sack fly in the first for Kaylee Erickson. She was hit by a pitch in the second. 0-2 sails high, and there's that waste pitch you were talking about. Those pitches, I like those pitches, the 0-2 out of the zone, because an 0-2, in my opinion, should never be in the zone, but it's got to be close enough to get a swing. And a pitch like that almost goes to the backstop isn't nearly close enough to try and get a swing and a miss.
That's right there. You called that one. They hit the nail on the head with that. Is that 0-2, it shouldn't be, I call them a wasted pitch, where it never even made them consider it. Like, that's 2. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying don't give up the hit. You don't want it to be something that's juicy, but I mean, you might as well just say Blue put 2 balls on the batter, or Blue put a ball on the batter, because right. It's not even going to be anything that the hitter would even think of swinging at.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's we always say at Alabama, I've heard Michelle Smith say it a lot of times, the best pitchers in the world are the ones that make you swing at pitches out of the zone. But it's got to be a competitive pitch out of the zone, and right now we're not seeing that from Wilkie when she gets ahead. And again, that I like the idea, trying to go change after a bunch of uprise, but not even close.
I would have thrown that on the 1-2 count. I would not have gone back up again to that really high rise ball. I would have rather missed that one, even in the same location. I'd rather throw that the second pitch, because
right.
A low changeup looks a lot better than a ball that starts going up past their eyes immediately out of the hand.
Erickson lifts that one to right. That'll drop in front of Wolfe. Slightly misplayed, but it won't hurt her. That's a single for Kaylee Erickson. Runners on first and second, and I have another little confusing piece of gamesmanship. I like that they're giving respect to Kaylee Erickson. She's had home runs, but hitting into the teeth of the wind, I'm not sure why Wolfe was that deep out in right field.
Right field, of all the positions in this situation, one, we should be shading everything towards left, and then right field should be a hair in, because that wind is knocking everything down, and anything going to center is literally going left center right now.
Yeah. Alyssa Mullis hits that one to Konselnick. Nice grab, and she tags second for the double play. That's unreal by the Washington Husky. 2 down.
That's dirty play right there. What are you talking about? Oh, that was pretty. I'm sorry. I get fired up with plays like that. And as a pitcher, I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm pumped in the circle right now. Like, I'm going to get this kid.
And you know what? We just talked about it. Momentum. Now if you can get Benson, who steps in, you could start feeling it. And Konselnick is due up second in the top of the 5th. Ball 1 to Benson. She walked. That was an RBI walk in the second. Popped out in the first.
And I like to think that some of these pitches, like she started that pitch, that was a very high, I'm assuming, rise ball. But sometimes, I have to remember that they aren't always probably meant to be rise balls. Some of them might be a screwball that gets loose.
Right.
They might not always be, they're throwing rise balls with a 3-0 count. But it seems like her balls are just missing up, even the ones that aren't rise balls.
And that's big because that was another ball to Benson right there. But Benson got a little swing happy. I think the eyes got big, cartoon style, and she thought that was one she could hit out of the yard.
She wanted to take a big old bite of that one. Same spot.
Yeah, and that's a good adjustment by Benson, not chasing it right there.
That's bad. Like when a hitter chases a rise ball or a certain pitch, a lot of times what they do is they say we go up the ladder.
Right.
So, the next one's just a hair taller, a little bit higher, a little bit more, and then it looks the same to the hitter. And a lot of times they can't lay off of it.
And that's what made Alexis Osorio so good. She could climb a ladder. Kelly Barnhill could throw that multi-plane rise and work up as the at-bat went on. And we've seen a lot of great rise ball pitchers over the years, but it's all about making sure that, again, even the rise balls that are upper part of the zone, that they're competitive, that they can get that chase. And it's been kind of hit or miss on that pitch today for Wilkie.
Yeah, I would say the highest rise ball you really want would be what she just threw there, about helmet high. That's like, I think the top. That's the top. That's
right.
Or a head. But that's a pitch that's at least not off the hand. The hitter knows it's a ball.
Right.
That one has a chance. But anything above that, where the catcher's jumping up and it's above the helmet, that's definitely a wasted pitch. But that's a great spot. I am not totally mad about that pitch at all.
3-1 to Benson. Change up, poked past Cochran. Little delayed run for Erickson, but she heads for third. Runners on the corners with 2 out here in the bottom of the fourth.
See, the runner hesitated right after second base. She actually stopped, started to go back to second, then changed directions. If they're heads up, they could throw her out at third on that.
Because it wasn't a very deep ground ball out to right. Yeah, you're exactly right.
She just came up throwing to second automatically, and she could have had an out. You got to be ready to go.
Yeah, I feel like we've just seen, I don't even want to call it mental errors, but just a slight miscue from the squeeze. Since that first inning, we've seen just little slight things, and if you want to win a championship, you cannot make those mistakes, as small as it may be. Maggie Turgo.
Especially something that might get you out of an inning.
Right.
That, to me, that's the moment where you come up and err on the side of aggression there.
Yeah, and get out of the inning, but also it's 8-2. I mean, you've got to take some risks at this point. We saw that with the stolen base in the previous inning, but there have to be some defensive risks as well. Turgo is 0 for 2 today. She reached on an error and scored in the second, and also in the second struck out, so she's only appeared in the second here today. Third at-bat for Turgo, the Western Kentucky Hilltopper. And again, we look at the critical nature of this moment. If the Squeeze want to have a shot, and you could feel the momentum kind of creeping back a little bit on their side, they've got to get Turgo out right here, the 9-hole hitter.
And on the River Mocs side, you got to get this running.
Yeah.
You want to bring the momentum right back to you.
Well,
because it's been, for the most part, Squeeze heavy here for the last inning and a half, and the Mocs need to kind of regain that.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't point out that Gabby Benson at first is the run rule run. If Gabby Benson were to come around and score, we're looking at the Squeeze being down to 3 outs in the top of the 5th.
I love that the Squeeze fought back to extend this game. That's what
Yeah.
We want to play 7. We're here to play 7. Give me a full game.
There goes Benson. And here we go. This just got even more precarious. 2-2 count to Turgo. Benson at second. Erickson at third. And Benson's got enough speed that a base hit and the championship could be within the Mocs' grasp. See where Wilkie goes. 2-2 to Turgo. That one off of Wilkie and right to Kotzelnick. That might have saved the game.
That sure did. What a great heads-up play by Stormy behind her. And way to get a glove on it. That one made me gasp.
That, a lot of the bounces have gone the way of the Mocs. That one might be why the Squeeze are still alive as we head to the 5th. It's 8-2 River Mocs, but the Squeeze will have a top of the order coming up. It's 10-1-2 against Maddie, although I think we're going to, I'm not sure. I see Carly Hobbs, I see Maddie Davis. It looks like it will be Davis going back out in the circle. Either way, though, she's pitched nice. She's had some solid combinations with her pitches. The changeup has been working well, but at the same time, she hasn't been shut down, so the Squeeze have to think they've got a bit of a window here.
Yeah, you've got to take the momentum of getting those runners on in those last innings, and you've got to take that momentum and keep that confidence that you're going to come out and fire back right away. So they need to take another couple runs on this inning. They have got to put some runners on and have productive at bats after you get those runners on. That's the difference between that last inning of putting up a few runs and then hopefully what we see this inning.
Yeah, glad to have you with us on Stream Live Tampa for the FGCL Championship. The semis were, and the first round, really not what I had envisioned at all. We had 5 games, 4 were won by the run rule. The one that wasn't was the best game of the day, won by your team, the lone seed upset over the Slice. Today, of all the ways I thought a championship would go, an 8-2 game heading to the 5th with the best player in the league already ejected, that was not in the cards whatsoever.
If we were in Vegas, whoever would have bet on that would be a millionaire right now.
Absolutely.
Nobody was betting on that happening. And this has been a crazy game, but I honestly think we might still have a little bit of craziness ahead of us.
I do too, and I don't. The Squeeze have given me a little bit of a reason to believe that they can do that, but I just think of all the times this summer where we've seen them come back late. I think of a 7-inning comeback against Fast Pitch U a couple times. There was one against the Lynx. Now, to be fair, the margin has not quite been this big. Even the Fast Pitch U comeback, that was an 8-3 game through 4. However, the Squeeze has done this before, and because of that, I think it is nowhere near over, despite how lopsided the 8-2 score looks right now.
Yeah, I think. At this point, though, they have to realize every out is crucial.
Absolutely.
Every out is precious, and they've got to make the River Mocs work for every out.
Jordan Cadleb takes ball 1. She popped out on a bunt in the 3rd. And another thing, we know that 1 through 5, Konselnick, Wolfe, Johnson, Cochran, Wilkie, they're going to get theirs. I think it's the back half when they have their next shot in this game and they'll get one more look. They've got to cash in.
Yeah, your lineup, the bottom half of your lineup has to have some production. You've got to be able to get on base, move people, or whatever you can do to roll over back to that top. But a lineup's only as good as the weakest one, right? You've got to eliminate the holes in the lineup. So they got to step up and try to have some really productive at bats coming up here.
And it starts here with Cadleb, 2-1 count. Now I'll remind you folks watching or listening at home, the Squeeze has had a leadoff single in every inning thus far. So history would say this is a chance for Cadleb to do something. Whether it's a single or a walk, though, it does feel like getting on base is necessary right here for the 10-hole hitter.
Absolutely. Getting on base and pushing you to the top of the lineup with a runner on first with nobody out, you have to do this. This is your job right here. This is why you're in the 9 or 10 hole, depending on the lineups. But the 10 hole, your job is to turn the lineup over.
She didn't go. They'll check. Yeah, no way. That's a walk for Cadleb, and the leadoff runner is aboard here in the top of the 5th. That's what the Squeeze wanted. Now it's all about cashing in. And, again, this is who you want up if you are trying to get back in a game.
Already got a great hit today, and just one of the feistiest hitters they have in their lineup. Tough to pitch to. She can hit all fields. She can hit the changeup. And I just think this is an absolute opportunity for them to cut this lead down, and let's make a game of it.
Why not? First pitch to Konselnick. Scoots away from Erickson. Konselnick 2 for 2, the single in the first, the double that you talked about in the 3rd that was so great on the outside change. She scored in that inning as well. She didn't end the regular season at a great clip, but had a great day yesterday in the 2 postseason games and has been on fire today.
It's a good time to be on fire. Let's be real. You got to love the gamers, the ones that just step up for the big games. They don't get intimidated. They don't get shut down by big moments. They love to rise to those moments.
Right. Yeah, Konselnick, you can just see that in her. She reminds me a lot of Skylar Wallace in Alabama. I made that comparison a couple times. Not just in gameplay, because Skylar's another player that can hit it anywhere, anytime, any place, and get on board, but just the composure, the aggressiveness, and that feistiness in the box.
She's just got an air of confidence about her. She's got this swagger about her that she just looks like she's going to fight every at-bat. She looks like she's going to dig in and make the pitcher's life not so easy.
Right. And it is a swagger and it is a confidence, and you don't want to swerve into cockiness at times because that's when those kind of hitters get in trouble. But we really haven't seen that from Kostelnick. She's been pretty even-keeled for most of the summer, I think.
I would think so, too. I mean, I think because she's also had that same experience of a little bit of humbling in moments, a little bit, she's had probably gone through all the range of emotions throughout these weeks with the squeeze. So I think she's just really settling into who she is as a player and what makes her most successful.
Big pitch from Davis. Oh, no, that got her looking for out number 1. That seemed well outside.
Oh, questionable at best.
Yeah, and my issue with it, we've talked about the consistency. I haven't seen that pitch called a strike today.
I agree, out and up.
Yeah.
So we'll chalk that one up, and at that point you just have to recover and move forward.
Right. Chance for Jordan Wolfe. She had an RBI single in the 3rd, 1 for 2 day for the Louisville Cardinal. Ball 1 to Wolfe. And again, even though Kostelnick goes down, I mentioned it. It's 1 through 5 that are really potent in this order, and that even behind Stormy, that order can put up runs in a hurry. You've got a lot of pop in the next 2 batters behind Wolfe if she can get on board.
Absolutely. I mean, they got some big boppers in there, so you want to get as many runners on as you can when that part of the lineup gets up. And at this point, it's not about moving a runner; it's about getting yourself on base.
Right.
To have 2 people potentially there for the 3, 4, 5 hitters.
Oh, there goes Cadleb.
Save.
Yeah, not in time. I wonder, was that seemed like a delayed steal? Was that perhaps a missed hit and run sign for?
I doubt they would have given her a hit and run when she's down in the count.
I wouldn't have thought so either, but I felt like Cadleb was so delayed taking off from first right there.
I was watching her go, but was that a changeup? Was she reading it off change?
Maybe. I immediately looked up
exactly.
at
Me
Cadleb.
too. That's what I said too.
Wolfe, oh no, just foul. Remains the ball on 2 strikes. Watch out. The wind is picking up again, and it is now moving kind of right to left, so not quite straight out anymore. That could help some of the big boppers that we're about to see come up to the plate.
Trying to keep our little canopy from flying away here in the wind.
Another 1-2 to Wolfe.
That's a good pitch. That's a really, really good pitch for Maddie right there. Ahead in the count. You don't want to throw something too juicy, but that was a beautiful outside corner.
And you know why I love that pitch? Because it's a little bit further outside from what was called a strike to Kostelnick. So you're thinking you can maybe bait a swing right there.
Absolutely.
2-2 to Wolfe. That one is well hit. That'll drop out and right. Cadleb's going to stop at 3rd. Interesting. Runners on the corners for the squeeze here with 1 out in the 5th. I say interesting. I'm not sure whether she would have scored or not, but I feel like this is the first time I've seen a game where Mario Hernandez over in the third base coaching box, head coach for the squeeze, has been consistently conservative with the base runners. Typically, he just sends them. Very Patrick Murphy-esque.
Yes, very aggressive base coach. I just think that probably because that ball was short, so right field coming in pretty hard on that. But it looked like she wasn't even looking to throw home anyway. She kind of went straight to second. She didn't even take a peek.
And keep in mind, the wind is whipping. Taylor Johnson whips it out to left for a base hit. The squeeze will get a run. It's 8-3 as the Badger comes through with the RBI here in the 5th. Call off the coroner because the squeeze ain't dead yet for sure. It's a 5-run deficit now here in the 5th.
TJ Taylor, man, she's been clutch. I mean, like, she's dialed in right now, and it's what I like is that she's hitting all different fields. She's hitting, she's not just trying to put the ball over the fence every at bat. She's productive in her at bat. She's finding a way to help her team.
This suddenly feels like the most important pitching sequence for Maddie Davis of the game. Nikki Cockrum, one of the best power hitters in the league, is 0 for 2. Very rare this summer have we seen, very rarely I should say, have we seen an 0 for game from the Northwestern Wildcat. And this feels like a moment where if she can get the right bat on barrel with the wind switching a little bit, instead it's up in the air to center. That drops. That'll go to the wall. Wolfe will head for home. The wind rears its ugly head out in center field, and it's 8-4.
You said it earlier that wind could play a part play a little role in this game, and that's the play that it did for sure.
I might have to score that just a hard luck single. By
It is. It didn't tip off a glove or anything. It hit grass first, but that's just really tough because right now the wind died down right after, of course, play happens. But that's at some point you have to chuck it up of man, sorry. But in those situations, I think when you have this kind of weather, you've got to talk to your left fielder ahead of time. When you know that balls are tailing towards them, they're going to end up having to cover a lot more ground and be able to help that center fielder out in those situations and understand it may look like it's their ball, but you better be ready to take it. Yeah, and the issue right there, Turgo overran it just a touch, and because of that, the ball got past her and went all the way to the fence. This is getting a little dicey all of a sudden, and we'll have to talk about something else because with the ejection of Leonard, Davis had to come on in relief. If Michaela Transu decided to make a change, Davis would be done for the day. Here's Kenna Wilkie in there for a huge strike one. Wilkie is 1 for 2 today, a single and a fly out to center. Runners on second and third, and just 1 out here in the 5th. I mean, this, not saying they need to tie it here, but this feels like if the Squeeze wants to have a chance to actually come back and get the win, they've got to get this to an 8-6 margin here in the 5th. That'll score a run. Yeah, that's a productive at bat. We got ourselves a ball game, folks. We knew it wasn't over. But that's why you love this level of softball.
Yes. That does move Cochran to third. Johnson was taking off. Good base running there the whole way, and Johns has had a single already in this game. So who knows what could happen here with the Florida International Panthers stepping to the plate.
Well, and typically when you have runners on second and third with less than 2 outs, the go-to for a lot of teams is downward angle. That means that runner at third is going when they see that ball heading on a downward angle towards the dirt, they immediately break to home. Because the thought process is if they try to make a play at home, it's a difficult play. And then that batter runner is expected to then go directly to second base. They are going to round first and assume. So the worst case scenario is you get 1 out, but you end up with the same situation, and they had to make a much tougher play. Well, and I'm just thinking, of all the batters to have up, it's Kenna Wilkie that I would like there because we've seen her just poke it out to right pretty much all day long. Johns puts it in play. This will be tough for Shubert. The throw to first is not in time, and it's an 8-6 ball game. Super effective at bat right there. She's so quick, and it's one of those things. All she has to do is get it past the front line, the pitcher, the first, and the third. If she can get it to the middle, she can get on, and that was a beautiful piece right there. But unbelievable. Do you send Johns here? Put her in scoring position, or at this point, are you in a situation where you're just seeing if you can extend the inning now that you're only down 2 runs? At this point, she hasn't proved that she can throw them out, but at the same time, you don't want to end a rally with it. You can't be a rally killer as a coach. Man, it's interesting how things change. And now we're going to have to, at some point, talk about the decision for Michaela Transu, because Maddie Davis has given up 6 runs. And as I just mentioned, she wasn't your starter. Once she's out, she's gone. So when do you make a change? Do you wait until potentially the Squeeze tie it up, whether it's this inning or in the future? Or do you be a little proactive here, knowing that they're starting to see her a little bit better? I think you want to make sure you still have a lead, even if it's just the 1 run. There she goes. There goes Johns. That's a great throw by Erickson, and that's the rally killer. The aggressiveness comes back to bite the Squeeze in the top of the 5th. You are right on the money today, partner. I'm feeling a little prophetic right now. No, but I mean, at the end of the day, the other time when we wanted her to steal was to be a rally starter. Right. We wanted to build momentum. When your team already has the momentum, you want to let them ride it out because it's so contagious. She's a quick kid. I mean, that they've now proven. I love that throw. I love that tag. That was a beautiful play by the catcher there. That was gorgeous. So tailor-made right there. But hey, live and learn. I wouldn't have done it, but I'm also not coaching in the championship, so who am I to say? You were almost there. True, but I mean, I'm just the bracket buster. That's right. That's what we called ourselves. Yeah, no, I set aside a bracket, and I won't say who I picked, but you did ruin a little bit of mine. Of course I did. Of course I did. That's the go-to for the Nears. We're scrappy enough just to mess people's brackets up, and It was fun, but at the same time, you can't question. I mean, they're just trying to be aggressive. They're trying to get this game in reach, and look at where it is now. This is a fun game. Who knows where it could have been with Max still in the game?
Right, and that will be. I don't want to call it an asterisk, but that will be the watermark on this game, no matter what happens. Now we see Kenna Wilkie come back out. She's been a little bit sharper, hasn't been clean in the last couple innings, but her team is giving her backup. Now it's a 2-run game. So because of that, knowing the offense is starting to hit better, do you feel a little freer as a pitcher, or knowing that you've got to keep the Mocs where they are, does that tighten you up a little bit as we hold the tent down?
Yeah, I'm just trying to not fly to Kansas.
There's no place like home, Erica.
There is no place like home. I'm about to Dorothy's house tornado. It's tough. I would say you're not freer. I would say if anything, you're actually feeling a little bit more of that pressure again, because now we're back to now I keep us in this game. I hope she's, each inning, I hope she just continues to get better and better as. Early on she was falling behind and throwing, just really missing a lot.
Yeah.
And throwing from behind, you're setting yourself up for failure there because hitters are just so much more aggressive.
I will say that might be the first 0-2 count we've seen from Kenna Wilkie against Megan Wright, who struck out in the third. 0-for-1 day for her, replacing Leonard at the top of the order.
It's a really good way to start the inning after scoring. This first batter is a very important out just because of having that momentum coming off of offense. That's a great 0-2 pitch. Really good miss. That's probably close to batter's box. But
not a strike for sure, but that's the kind of miss I'm talking about that can coax a swing right there.
Exactly.
This has been the best at-bat start to finish I've seen from Kenna Wilkie since she came in.
So good.
Kotzelnick is there. 1 out. That was brilliant by Kenna Wilkie.
Off speed there to get her ahead, just got her barrel a little in front of the zone. Couldn't quite get enough of it. Miss hit. That was a beautiful at bat for her. Good job pitching. I love it.
Yeah, it looked like a couple pitches on the outside, or one pitch on the inside, one pitch on the outside to start from Wilkie. She went a little further outside on, again, a brilliant miss, and then a changeup a little more on the inner half. That's a great sequence.
But here we are.
Quinones out to center. Way back! Out of here! Here we go indeed! Ari Quinones out to center, and the Mocs answer back to make it 9-6 here in the bottom of the 5th.
What a response. What a huge swing for her. I love that.
Wow. And so interesting. First pitch as well, and that was a good pitch by Wilkie, maybe a little further inside than I think she wanted, but that seemed to me like a conscious decision by Quinones saying, oh, Wilkie attacked the zone in the previous at-bat, I'm going to come up hacking, and it worked out.
Yeah, and she's been throwing the ball up on Ari, and I just think that she knew, that's a great pitch to drive hard with your barrel. So she was looking for something early in the count. That was amazing.
Shubert, that's a foul ball. Wow. All of a sudden, the Boppers are back. Schubert's 1 for 2, a double and an RBI in the second, pop out in the third. She walked and scored in the first. Now, to be fair, if you're Mario Hernandez, if you're a Squeeze fan, Squeeze player, you're disappointed, but it's just a solo home run, and you can't let that compound to more here in the bottom of the 5th.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to keep it to what it is. You have nobody on, you have 1 out, just kind of attack the inning fresh. Not let that momentum drive them into a rally inning.
What a game. It looked like it was going to be easy breezy after we were in the second, and the Mocs were firmly taking control. Mac Leonard was tossing. Since then, it's been chaos. 0-2 to Shubert. It's a good pitch high, 1-2. Again, that's a much more competitive 0-2 pitch.
Such a good 0-2 pitch because, honestly, that's kind of borderline what's maybe been called a few times.
Yeah.
But it's enough to make it not obvious, and the hitter had to think a little bit more on that, and it's not an easy take.
this also feels like a really good response by Wilkie, too. We saw her make a mistake in the second when she came on in relief, and that led to more mistakes. She gave up the home run, and now she's coming after Lizzie Shubert. And again, really solid pitch sequence here to the Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, and you have to remember, it was just one pitch.
Right.
It was first pitch, one pitch. So, don't let that defeat you in this inning. You can keep it to one run and then still throw a great inning.
You're all over here, kid.
Another 1-2. Straight up.
We're good.
Thank you for the warning.
Yeah, I got your back.
Oh, goodness. All right, so we're nearing 2 o'clock Eastern time. We do have to keep our eye on the weather. The rain is supposed to come later today. I believe it's looking a little bit better.
There's some solid weather to the northwest of us, but that's not coming our way, so we're good there.
Yeah, I'm seeing 4 o'clock right now, so that would be fine unless we get a Oklahoma-Florida situation.
Let's not, shall we?
I agree. I have to pack. We've got the Vero Beach trip coming up. A lot of the players in this game will be traveling to take on the USSSA Pride, and Kenna Wilkie will be a part of that. Nikki Cochran, Taylor Johnson, and what a cool experience that'll be for those players to take on probably some of their heroes that they watched while they were in junior high and high school playing college ball.
Yeah, they're going to get to play 3 games against some of the best athletes in the country, and that's going to be an incredible opportunity for all of them to be a part of.
Schubert lifts it to left, right to Cadleb. I think the change kind of baited her there. She put a scare in it, but Cadleb was shaded perfectly. 2 gone.
That's the only reason I get hesitant to throw changeups inside. If you throw an inside change, even sometimes if they get fooled and they're ahead of it, they can still get their barrel on it and keep it fair.
Right.
Whereas if they throw an outside changeup and they're fooled, that barrel's past the point of contact. They can't get barrel on it because they're committed too far forward when it's on the outside corner.
Well,
inside changeups can be risky.
And it sounds like something as we see strike one to Jenny Jansen, who today is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. That's something that you've got to be really careful with against players with those quick hands, like a Lizzie Shubert, as Jansen hammers it to center again, and Johns is there again for out number 3.
Great response by the squeeze to make some plays. I think that was a much better inning pitched.
I think that's the best inning pitch from Wilkie today, even though she gave up the home run.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, that was just one bad pitch. I think the rest of that inning was real strong. She had a lot more command on her pitches. And I think the River Mocs have nothing to be ashamed of in that inning. They were swinging. They were getting barrel on it,
All right, we were talking about it. When will Michaela Transu, if she makes a change, when would she do it? She's doing it now and going with Carly Hobbs, the junior out of Truett McConnell, the breakthrough athlete of the year from Loganville, Georgia, 2.53 ERA, 36 innings, 29 hits, 13 runs, all those earned, 7 walks, 11 Ks, 6-0 record, opponents batting .215 against her. We'll talk about Hobbs in just a moment, but what do you think of a decision here? It's 9-6, a little too early to pull Davis, or do you think it's the right move?
I'm not mad at it. I think she's thrown full games all season, so telling her to take the next 3 is, I think, reasonable. I think they got another run on the board, and I think a new arm, a new look is what they need to keep the squeeze from feeling like they can fight back. So you need her to throw a really strong first inning here. The squeeze still does have quite a bit of momentum on their side, so Hobbs needs to get it. Like, she comes in, she's a great pitcher. She got Breakthrough Athlete of the Year for a reason.
Yes.
She has had an amazing season. She's got a lot of confidence in the circle. She deserves well-earned confidence. So I'm excited to see. I think this is a very, very important inning here, especially where they are in their lineup.
Yeah. No, look, Hobbs is a player that'll come in and get a clean inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. She'll just get the ground balls and the flyouts. She's got to make sure, if she wants to win this game, because remember, there's only one more pitcher available, that's Sarah Handerham for the River Mocs. If Hobbs wants to finish this one off, I think personally this needs to be 3 up, 3 down right here. Can't give the top of the order a chance to probably drive in a run here in the 6th.
Yeah, you want to get them in order here. This is a big one. You don't want to roll it over to the top again.
Megan Ricks takes it high for ball 1. Ricks is 0 for 2. She was at the plate when Johns was thrown out in the 5th. Again, the game is completely changed because of the ejection of Mac Leonard. and we hoped it wouldn't be a story. Because the squeeze has come back, it officially is a story. I think this game's probably over if Mac Leonard was still pitching. Instead, it's a 3-run ball game.
And yet, how will we ever know?
I know. That's the beauty of sports.
You just don't know. Maybe the squeeze would have run ruled her. Never know. Maybe they would have been no hit. That's the beauty of the sport, is like we just don't. The unanswered question is going to drive us crazy.
Right.
First of all.
3-0. This is not the start you want to see from Carly Hobbs.
Definitely need to fight a little harder here. Maybe just trying to get a feel for the mound, trying to get, these mounds get dug out pretty good. It's like the little Grand Canyon out there.
Yeah.
So I think it usually takes a couple pitches for these pitchers, the new ones. You'll see most new pitchers, it takes them a few to find their zone, because you got to feel the mound out. But it's time. You had your chance. Now it's time.
Right.
Now it's time to get it. So,
I was going to say that pitch right there seemed to be a good test of the nerves. If she had missed, we might see the nervousness from Hobbs. That was a good pitch right in there. Good take by Ricks, obviously, but here's the important one. And that's a walk to Ricks to start off the 6th inning. Squeeze has had the leadoff on every inning so far in this game.
That's a dream for a coach.
Seriously, order me that.
Yeah. Can I get an order of that and a side of some RBI sandwiches?
You might get an RBI from Paige Schindler. She's 0 for 2 today. That's a rare quiet outing. And now Hobbs has thrown 6 pitches and 5 balls. And keep in mind, Davis is scratched from the game after being replaced. Great pitch, 1-1.
Yeah, that's a nice comeback right there. She put a little extra hot sauce on that pitch. Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Hobbs. She got Breakthrough Athlete of the Year, as we mentioned. And to me, you look at a school like Truett McConnell, and no offense to them, but you wouldn't expect for one of the best arms in the league to come from a D2 school, but Hobbs struck early and well here in the FGCL.
She's been solid. She's one of those pitchers. She's not flashy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like she's like the quiet thunder. Like that. She's got a really good controlled presence out there, and I think that she is just.
Well, I mean, again, 36 innings, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. It didn't get more average than that, but
she just goes in and throws ground balls, gets outs, and that's honestly kind of the pitcher I was too. I wasn't a strikeout pitcher. I'd strike out like 5 in a game, 6 maybe. I wasn't gonna strike out 1 in an inning. But it was the same thing. Just throw to outs. She just gets out. She's productive. Look at that.
What a job by Hobbs, but this might get Schindler on base. She slides in, which is not what you should do, but that's an infield single here in the 6th. 2 on, nobody out. I mean, you know this. There's no reason to slide into first. It's slower than when you just run through. That's been studied by sports science and everybody, but it still worked out for Paige Schindler.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out because she was going to be safe regardless. So, but I have to give Carly some props on that because, dude, she was like a little spider monkey there. She was doing whatever she could to get in front of that ball. Unfortunate it tipped off, but that would have been an amazing play.
I'm not sure I expected to say this at all in this game, but the tying run for the squeeze is at the plate right now, and Abby Stewart, who is 1 for 2 today with a single. She also scored in the 3rd. She struck out in the 4th. And Hobbs is really struggling to find the zone, 2-0. So right here, you're talking to these batters. Hobbs seemingly is getting behind. She can't find the zone. Are you saying take right here until you see a strike in the at-bat?
Yeah, she's probably only, thrown about 30%, 25-30% strikes. I would say odds are in your favor of let's keep pushing to the top.
Yeah.
Get on base however you can, and I'm taking all the way here. But as a hitter, sorry, as a hitter.
Oh, I know.
I'm not taking. I'm like, she's going to
You
serve
see
me
that
like
one down the middle.
That's my hitter mentality. But as a coach, you really want them to see a strike before they go for it this time.
Stewart goes for that one. That's up in the air. The wind could play tricks here. That'll fall! Schindler, though, will be dead to rights at second on the single. Schindler, again, I think, did the right thing waiting at first, but she was at the bag instead of maybe a couple steps off there, and that's what did her in.
In that sense, you need to be, well, I wouldn't say halfway when it's that close, but
not half, but she's got to be a little bit off, yeah.
Agreed.
Because, yeah, and that to me is, she's a pitcher. I mean, she doesn't run the bases that often.
But the wind makes another play. It makes another arrival little announcement that it's still here for us.
Yeah, it ain't going away anytime soon. Jordan Cadleb just crushed that. Out to left! We're tied! In the top of the 6th, the 10-hole hitter, Jordan Cadleb, has evened us up at 9. And it's a brand new championship game.
I don't know what to say. And Mac Leonard is walking behind her dugout in frustration right now, just frustrated that she can't be here for this.
My gracious. There are so many things to factor in. Jordan Cadleb, first off, got one at-bat yesterday, and she was frustrated by her lack of playing time. She came in as a defensive replacement in the first inning after Perfume misplayed a couple balls. Perfume's a slapper. If she's still playing, that ball's probably not out. But she was replaced by Cadleb, who just hit the home run. Mac Leonard ejected, and then we look at the decision by Michaela Transu to bring in Hobbs, who'd been great all summer, but she's shown some cracks here in the top of the 6th. What a championship.
Unbelievable.
That's a great pitch to Kotzelnick for strike 1. And also, what's really alarming, if you're pulling for the Mocs here, all that just happened 7 through 10, and now you've got the top of the order coming up.
I was just going to say that. Now we're back to the top, which is obviously dangerous. They have been productive today. But we talked about that, how important that bottom half of the lineup was, and look at what they did.
This is unreal. Kotzelnick to Quinones, Washington to Washington, and that's out number 2. Quinones within herself there. That's a really good play and a nice response by Hobbs for out number 2. I mean, are you kidding me?
Unreal. This is fun. Let's just talk about how much fun this is.
Man, maybe we will have a Florida-Oklahoma kind of game. Here's Jordan Wolfe. Low for ball 1. She had an RBI single in the 3rd, singled in the 5th, ground out in the 1st, 2 for 3 day.
And this is the time where you have to think of yourself as a second leadoff. You've got to get on base, kind of keep the rally going. Oh,
wow.
Call one down there now.
That has not been a strike at all this summer or today. Oh, man. Although I do, I don't fault him for maybe throwing Hobbs a bone, because that wasn't a bad pitch right there.
Yeah. And then he followed it up with that guy. It's hard to defend both of those.
Eiffel Tower of strike zones right here.
As a hitter, it's hard to defend both of those strikes. That's, you know what I mean? It's hard to stay in attack mode for both of those. They're just pretty polar opposite.
I can't believe this. Wolfe in the air to left. That's drifting foul. I think it's out of play. Yeah, no one's making a move. Left field a bit obstructed from our booth area. Remains a ball and 2 strikes to Wolfe. It was 8-0. It was 8-0 through 2. And the squeeze has tied it up at 9.
We said a few times that we didn't think this game was over.
I mean, you could feel it. There was something in the air that said the Mocs didn't, I don't think, thought they had it. And again, I frankly attribute that to the ejection of Mac Leonard. They weren't as confident that it was over, even when it was 8-0, as they probably should have been, quite frankly. When you're up 8-0 in a championship, you should feel pretty good as Wolfe will take her base.
That's a rough one where it gets you right above the Evo shield. A lot of these hitters are wearing all the Evo shields and guards and all these things. So they don't really move when there's an inside pitch. They don't try to get out of the way, and those things don't cover everything. I had one of my players that got hit like in 8 straight at bats.
Oof.
So
Here's Taylor Johnson. Nice pitch to Hobbs. Admittedly, Hobbs has done a great job coming back since the Cadleb home run. I think that's the 3rd straight first pitch striker, at least 2nd in the last 3 batters.
But Taylor's been seeing the ball well, so. Like, she was not fooled on that off speed.
Yeah. Johnson is 2 for 3. RBI single in the 5th, or excuse me, regular old single in the 3rd. Fly out in the 1st. To all the people watching, if you went away, we were trying to tell you not to.
We did try.
We did.
We said that. We had a feeling.
Johnson up into the sky. This is a long run for somebody. And that is Turgo who makes the catch. A step inside fair territory for out number 3. But Erica Beach, after it was 8-0, and you could kind of feel momentum all on one side, the squeeze never gave up. They fought back, and a 3-run homer by the 10-hitter, Jordan Cadleb, has us tied at 9, heading to the bottom of the 6th. I mean, you really can't write this stuff. You really can't.
This is why this is one of the best sports in the world.
Yes.
Like, one, how is softball not, like, just the funnest thing to watch ever? But I love that it's never over. I mean, if you have an out left, you have a chance. And one thing that a lot of coaches and players say is that the game doesn't know who's supposed to win. The ball doesn't know who's supposed to be ahead. And that is so true right now.
We'll step aside. Heading to the bottom of the 6th, the Mocs are suddenly not in the lead anymore, but they've got 5, 6, 7 due up. That's been a ton of the damage done. We'll see what they do against Kennewickey heading to the bottom of the 6th. Well, I was worried after we got, no offense to you, but kind of snoozed our semifinals yesterday. A couple run rules in 5 that we were on our way there when it was 8-0 River Mocs through 2. Yeah, I think we've got the excitement we wanted. Tied up at 9, heading to the bottom of the 6th with Erickson, and Mullis, 5, 6, 7, due up against Kennewickey.
This is kind of the finale that we all hoped we would see after this amazing summer. Like, this is the final we kind of deserve, I feel.
Yeah.
We've earned this. This is what we've needed.
Our blood, sweat, and tears went into this. Oh, man. Unreal. Kennewickey, too, has looked great in the circle the last couple innings, certainly in the 5th. Here she is against Emily Erickson. Erickson had an RBI single in the 1st, hit by pitch in the 2nd, and then she came around to score hit by pitch in the 4th. But all of a sudden, okay, we've talked a lot about this game from the squeeze perspective. Now we look at the Mocs. Offensively, you've had the lead the whole way, and it's not like you were quiet. You threatened pretty much in every inning. All of a sudden, though, you're tied. How does the mindset not get a little pushy, I would think, here? I mean, you've got to remember what you've done all game that's gone so well, right?
There's one thing that the Mocs are amazing at is just their fight. We talked about that earlier in the game. They fight. They have fought back numerous times, no matter how many outs they have left. These guys fight, and I think that they're doing business as usual. Honestly, they've been here before, and I think that they're not going to press. And I think they're fine. I have confidence that they understand that they are still a great lineup, that giving up these runs does not dictate what they're able to do offensively. And in their heads, they're probably, if we can put a 9 up, what says that we can't put 9 more?
Yeah, but here's the difference. They've done that all summer long with their leader, Mac Leonard. We've talked about her impact pitching at the plate. We also can't forget the leadership. She's in the dugout, but she's not on the field right now. That's very important.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, I can't emphasize enough how much of a dagger that was. But as a team, you can't dwell on it. Like, if you sit there and use that as an excuse, then this game's going to get by you.
Yeah.
And at this point, you just lay everything on the line. And if you expect to give up a few more runs on defense, then you better put up some more runs on offense. And that's what this team does. They hit hard. So their job is to put up some more runs, get some more run support there, because I have a feeling the Squeeze are going to put some more up. Do you see that shift over there, by the way? See where Stormy's at?
Oh, yeah. And it hurts him. Erickson lobs it out to right. I know the infield couldn't have done anything with it, but that was just perfectly done by Erickson. Emily Erickson reading the mind of Erica Beach, woman of the people. That's a leadoff single for the Mocs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, I mean, they were shifting because apparently...
Do you want to go on a trip? I mean, where do you want to go? Let's go to Atlantic
Vegas?
City.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, man. Well, I mean, it was a change-up, and, I mean, that's why they were probably shifting. And, wow, just throwing your barrel at that thing over the 3-4 hole. Unbelievable.
Kind of ironic. I feel like that's the kind of at-bat we'd see from Kenna Wilkie, who threw the change-up right there. And now Kaylee Erickson. That hits her. Uh-oh. 2 on, nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 6th, and the alarms are ringing once again.
Wee-oo, wee-oo. It's getting exciting again.
I'm going to have to count. I think that is hit by pitch number 4 out of the arm of Wilkie, and because of that, here comes Mario Hernandez. Now, I don't think you get squirrely here. Again, Jenna Green can re-enter, but you're riding Wilkie at this point. Green didn't have it. Not her fault, just not her day. Wilkie didn't have it, but she got it, and I think you stick with the hand that's been hot in the circle right now. Don't even think about making a change here.
Not yet, no. I would definitely have Wilkie ready and have her. I would have had her throw a few innings in the bullpen, honestly.
Green, you mean?
Or Green, yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I would have had Green out there just, like, working through some of the things that we saw early in the game that we're not hitting for her. And then, if you need to go to her, maybe try to treat it like a new game.
Right.
Try to treat it like a complete fresh
start. It kind of is. I mean, we're tied up. So
true.
It's not the game that Jenna Green left. She left when it was, trying to look back, I think it was 6-0 when she left the game, or 5-0. Wow. Here's Alyssa Mullis. She had a 2 RBI double in the first, an RBI walk in the second, but she lined into a double play to Stormy Kotzelnick in the fourth. A great diving catch. That was with 2 on and nobody out. Same situation, and she takes strike 1.
Really good job of getting ahead on that next one. I mean, hey, listen, we have no outs. This is, again, where in your brain, I'm talking to my third baseman. I'm like, I'm about to pitch you a ground ball, and you're going to touch first and throw this girl at first, or touch third and get her at first. Like, I would throw inside, jam her, get her to weakly ground out to the left side.
Oh, wow. That is a great play by Taylor Johnson to save an extra base.
There's some good moves back there.
And kind of had to fight the home plate umpire as well to get the mid up there to make the catch.
She gave him a little bop on the head, I think. That was a great piece of catching right there from Taylor. Holy moly. They needed that because that could have been 2 runners in scoring position.
Beautiful. 1 and 2.
As I would say to a good changeup, I'd say, take a shower. That was dirty.
I've heard you say that before.
Yes.
All right, so now where do you combo that with?
We're ahead. You don't have to be crazy. But I could throw that little rise inside on the hands a little bit. I'd throw it there. A little bit low, not too high.
1-2. Mullis gets a hold of it. All the way to the wall. This will score a run. The Mocs have got the lead again. And that throw gets away. Here comes Kaylee Erickson. And Wilkie will tag her. That is gigantic for out number 1. Obstruction being called for by the Mocs dugout. I frankly don't think it would have been.
She was out by 4.
That crazy, feet. Yeah. It would have.
So.
It would have been pretty easy. That's so Erickson, Emily scores on the double by Mullis to make it 10-9 River Mocs. However, maybe most importantly, Erickson is out. So not only is she erased, but that's a big out here in the 6th with the bottom of the order due up. And again, the lengthy backstop comes up big. Benson in the air and foul. Benson is 1 for 2. Popped out in the first, RBI walk in the second, single and a stolen base in the fourth.
Hey, right here, Gabby. You're all
Yeah, she's been pretty hot during these playoffs. Benson's been seeing the ball really well. She's dialed in pretty well. So this is actually a really good person to have up with a runner in scoring position for the Mocs.
I will counter you by agreeing, as that probably should have been a strike. Benson has been better lately, but on the season overall, 188 with runners in scoring position. Now that was entering today, not factoring in earlier performances. 2 and 1.
Well said, touche.
Yes, but still, I mean, you're right, and she has been kind of the surprise clutch factor, the Georgia State product, down in the bottom of the order.
Yeah, you love seeing them, kind of start coming in hot. I mean, at the end of the day, playoffs is when you need to be hot. So
right.
At this point, I don't care what you did the last 5 weeks. What are you doing for me now?
3 and 1. It should be noted, with the Mocs taking a 10-9 lead, the Squeeze will be down to their final 3 outs of the summer in the top of the 7th, with Cochran, Wilkie, and Johns due up. So it's a solid part of the order if you want to try and tie the game up or maybe get a lead and give yourself a chance to be 3 outs away from a title. Of course, that won't matter if Wilkie can't get out of this 6th inning.
Hey, right here, Gabby. Come on, kid. You got it.
Full count.
That's a good mix right there. 3-1 changeup. That's a good. But that shows you have confidence in that pitch.
Right. No, you're right on the money, because if that misses first and second, and oh man, it's what a game. We're seeing Wilkie take some real risks these last couple innings because she has to. Mullis at second. Payoff to Benson is high. That's a walk. 2 on, 1 out.
New ball for the pitcher. Sometimes you need a new ball mentally, not physically. Sometimes the new ball's not for the actual seams were wrong. It's your brain needs a new ball.
I've been watching Mario Hernandez right now. Brief side comment to Carson Gordon. That was it. Jenna Green's in the dugout, not in the bullpen. It does seem like this is Kenna Wilkie's 6th inning right here, no matter what happens, barring just 5 doubles in a row.
At this point, anything can happen,
right?
Ray.
No, I know.
Haven't we learned that one today?
I mean, you think something's going down. You think maybe the game will go one way. Softball, though, doesn't care. And again, the biggest play in this game has been a decision by an umpire. No matter how you slice it, this is a completely different game if Mac Leonard's in it. And it'll be a real testament to the Mocs if they can still win, all things considered, how this game has gone on.
True.
It does, in fact, to me, back up Mac Leonard as most valuable player.
That sure does. It's a big difference.
Low to Maggie Turgo, who is 0 for 3, reached on an error and scored in the second, also struck out in the second, ground out in the fourth. Again, when we go to the 9-hole hitter conversation, this is an out you've got to have if you're Wilkie.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, we have 1 out. You cannot go bases loaded getting to the top. Now, obviously, it's not Mac at the top yet, but you've got home run hitter Ari coming up soon, too.
And you're right on the money. If the goal right now, with 1 out, that you've got to get 2 outs in a row. You cannot have the possibility of Quinones and Shubert, but mainly Quinones, coming back to the plate in this game. It just cannot happen for the Squeeze.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very important out here.
Turgo drifting to shallow left, and Cadleb makes a beautiful running catch for out number 2. That was brilliant.
That's a big out, one, because the runners didn't advance.
Yeah.
So getting that weak pop fly to the left side is huge, because now it's going to take, a little bit more for them to get that run across, and that couldn't be more clutch for the Squeeze right there.
Out you had to have. Back to the top of the order, and Megan Wright, 0 for 2 day. Strikeout in the 3rd, pop out in the 5th. Runner on 1st is Benson. On 2nd, it's Mullis.
Just go to that rise ball early again. But she's gotten her to bite at this. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you know, they're remembering, you know, previous at-bats here, trying to get her to get a little aggressive and bite at something.
Wright has just one hit this summer. Nice change in 1-1. Maybe a touch outside, but it's a good pitch.
Just a scotch.
Just a smidge.
Hey, too aggressive in your pitches here. Let's go, babe.
It's okay. 10-9 Mocs. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Just got a piece. Ball and 2 strikes.
That's when we always say, check the ball, because she hit it with the end of the bat. She was so early on that.
Let's go!
Drive some, kid. Let's go, babe.
And I like that in this league, I've seen a lot of the catchers calling games.
Yeah.
I really love that about it, because that I feel like in the college game, not a lot of catchers call. Oh, nice dig.
No, I think you make a good point, and we mentioned it earlier. There was the subtle defensive change, but it was Johnson moving from third to catcher, and since then, you know, it hadn't been perfect, but Wilkie's been a lot more comfortable, and I think the pitch construction in an at-bat has been much better and more fit to her game.
Sometimes if the pitcher just believes in who's calling the pitches more, they immediately throw better pitches. If they second guess,
Wow. That's a strikeout looking to get out of the 6th. The Mocs, though, get a run. It's 10-9 heading to the 7th. And even though the Mocs have the lead, you feel like the squeeze has all the momentum with 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Wow. We're going to keep it here as we head to the 7th, and I make some scorebook notes. Eight hits for the River Mocs, 10 runs coming on those 8 hits. For the Squeeze, it is 9 runs on, this is a lot, 14 hits. 14 hits for the Squeeze today. And you got to think they just need 2 to tie up this game, right? A solo home run would work, but if you can get a base runner on, maybe the leadoff, it's happened every inning so far, then a single, a double, something like that, something on base will tie up this ball game.
They've got to go with what they've been doing all day.
Yes.
They have got to get the leadoff on and then just manufacture at this point, extend the game. But if I'm the Squeeze, let's be real, I'm trying to win a ball game.
Absolutely.
We're going for multiple runs this inning, and then just hope your pitcher's ready to just step it up that one last inning. But this is, I'm sorry, like Gray, I just have to put this in perspective, because, you know, just coming from everything that's been going on in the world with COVID and all of these things, being stuck inside for months and months and months, and so many people just not having the opportunity to be a part of something like this. How special is this? How much have you missed the softball, the adrenaline rush, the frustrations, the excitement, the butterflies, all of these things, the tension, like the emotions I'm feeling right now watching this game is the reason, like, I love this sport. I've missed this sport so much, and it's so good to be here. Like this, I couldn't imagine any place I'd rather be.
You are right on the money there. And wow, I mean, you know, I talked about it after the Squeeze fast pitch U game when the Squeeze came back, tied it in the 7th. I talked about how it felt so good to call a big-time home run, and I miss that. To have it mean as much as it does right now and it be as tight as it is, I mean, this is what the sport needed. This is what this league needed. I hope a lot of people are watching and enjoying.
I hope so. People have been starving to see some live sports, and this couldn't get any better.
Now, we should note, third pitcher of the day for the River Mocs, Carly Hobbs. It does feel like it's her game, right? So, you know, even if she gives up a run here, you would think that Michaela Transu, only Sarah Handerhan left, would stick with Hobbs. And she's ahead 0-2 on Nikki Cochran. Wow.
Hobbs has been so consistent for them. I think that having a rough inning or, you know, giving up a couple runs, I don't think that's going to dictate what she's about to do.
0-2 to Cochran. That was actually a really good pitch on 0-2. Got her to foul off. And good job by Cochran, because if she'd let that go, that's in that upper part of the zone area. It's been called a strike all day.
Now look at Hobbs right now. Look at her. You see this little? She got a little hop in her step. She's got a little extra focus this inning. I feel like she's like really dialed in right now.
Ooh.
She knows there's a ring on the line.
Yeah. It's Cochran, Wilkie, Johns, 4, 5, 6 due up. Glad you're with us here on Stream Live Tampa. Gray Robertson, Erica Beach, marveling at what we're seeing. 2-2 to Nikki Cochran. Nikki Cochran is the most efficient player in this league in terms of on-base percentage and slugging percentage. It's not an opinion, that's a statistical fact. She's never needed to get on base more than right now. Full count.
Well, she's doing a good job not chasing, not getting anxious. She looks really calm in the box right now. Sometimes you can see hitters looking a little jumpy, a little like they're kind of all over the place. She looks really calm.
Cochran, that's a base hit all the way to the wall. She will leg it out for 2. This could be close, but no, it's not. It's a stand-up double for Cochran to get it started in the 7th. Win or lose, all 7 innings in regulation, the Squeeze got the leadoff batter on. That's incredible. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I am so impressed with that. Like I said, can I get an order of that?
Yes. Hey, I will make a point. Some more defensive changes. New catcher is Mullis. The Sharpie's not working. Mullis is catching. It looks like Kaylee Erickson is over at first. Jansen back in center. Benson out in right. That was the first time in a long time I'd seen the Mocs go with something besides Turgo, Jansen, Benson in the outfield. And they go back to it when it matters most as Kenna Wilkie takes strike 1.
Listen, if I'm Kenna Wilkie, I'm here to help myself out.
Amen.
I love hitting. We talked about this before when I was chatting with you during the home run derby, is that hitting pitchers, one of their favorite things to do is help themselves out. They've given up some things, and that debatable strike there.
Yeah, isn't she supposed to get rid of the towel? Don't we need to get the towel out of there?
I called that a beach towel, and Coach Hernandez
As in
said
a
that's
picture
his
of
golf
you
towel.
on there? Oh, really?
Yeah, but I think that it's a little bit of a lucky charm now because she threw really well yesterday to get here.
Wilkie, there we go. She was going with the Phil Mickelson chip shot right there, trying to poke it out to right, but just a little bit too reachy there. 1-2.
That was a 2-strike kind of defensive swing right there.
Yeah.
You need to get a pitch you can put some barrel on when you only have 1 strike.
She entered the day hitting .350 with runners in scoring position, tying runs on second base with nobody out. The 1-2. Chip shot out to right, but drifting foul. On a regular day, I think that's a base hit. Instead, it's just a long strike.
Got a little slice on it, little hook on the ball, today. Nothing is going true to where it's supposed to go
No.
right now.
I mean, there are so many things we could point to. Benson in center had probably an easy fly ball earlier in the game that flew out and just disappeared. The wind took it away. And we've seen the wind play a big-time factor all day long. Can Hobbs get a big strikeout? 1-2 to Wilkie. Rise high, 2-2.
You can just feel something in the air right now. Something's about to happen.
Yeah. It's 10-9. River Mocs. They're 3 outs away from a championship, but the Squeeze are a base hit away from maybe tying this game up. 2-2 to Wilkie. Full count.
Have I told you how much I love softball?
The feeling is mutual, my friend.
And I know everybody watching this right now is feeling it. Like, whoever you're pulling for, whether you're pulling for the Mocs or you're pulling for the Squeezer, if you're just an innocent bystander catching this game.
What a swing and a miss. She chased the rise that she laid off of the whole at-bat. And the Mocs are 2 outs away.
Such a clutch pitch. Oh, my gosh. That is gutsy with, I don't know. That was... Woo.
And I think the only reason Wilkie swings at that is because she doesn't think Hobbs is going that rise ball again. Wow. Timeout. I'm not sure why. Michaela Transu going out to probably just nerves to talk to Carly Hobbs. Alexis Johns is on deck. She's 2 for 3 today with an RBI single in the 5th.
I wonder what that conversation was. Sometimes I wish I was a fly on the wall of the pitching circle.
Yeah.
I want to hear what they're talking about because I'm wondering if it's some sort of strategy talk about with the speed coming up, speed on second, what's going on.
Well, it's so important right here, as I think we're going to see Summer Baker. This is a good play, and I think the right play. Baker, more of a small ball player, coming to pinch run for Cochran. But this is all about smart base running because Johns, when she puts it in play, it's a hard hit ball on the infield. Rarely does she get it out. So Baker's got to know when to go and when to stay.
Absolutely. She's probably not going to pop it out of the ballpark right now, but she's found some really scrappy ways to be productive.
She lays down a bunt, but foul. That would have been interesting. Again, Johns is the kind of player, if she can position the bunt well, she can beat it out.
Yeah, that was definitely to get on. That was not a bunt to move anyone. That was
Right.
like move and get on. She wants to be the second base runner in this inning right now.
Important at-bat for Emily Erickson at third. And I take you back to the 8th inning between these two. With a runner at second to start off extras with the international tiebreaker in effect, a bunt, a small ground ball went to Emily Erickson, and she threw it away, and that allowed the squeeze to win. Johns up in the air. That is not what you want. And the Mocs are an out away. Perhaps a little too greedy there.
A little bit. I mean, she's been successful putting some things down on the ground, and you can't beat out a fly ball.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. Now we can't completely knock it because fly balls have been pretty productive today.
Right.
So you don't want to necessarily say it's terrible, but as the speedy lefty, you want to at some point put the ball on the ground again and see if they can throw you out.
Last chance for the squeeze this summer and in this championship is Megan Ricks. With Summer Baker at second, base hit, I think if you're Coach Hernandez, you send her. No holds barred. I think this is the ball game. Strike one, what a pitch. Ricks is 0 for 2. She walked in the 6th, the only time she's reached today.
I love seeing Mac Leonard right at the opening of the dugout just screaming, backing her teammates up.
Ricks over to Quinones. The throw to first! And they've done it! A roller coaster ride! And Mackinac here at Lakewood Ranch High School as the River Mocs win the title. 10-9 over the squeeze in a truly incredible softball game.
That was one for the books, you guys. If you got to watch any or all or a part of this game, that was intense and fun from beginning to end, and it kind of encapsulates what this summer's been about.
Wow.
Everybody for their support. Stream Live Tampa. Ray and Erica were broadcasting today on the live stream on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
We'll have Erica and I talk to somebody, whoever they want to bring over after the game, as the Mocs win 10-9. So let's decompress what we just saw. So the Mocs go up 8-0 through 2, but in that second inning, Mac Leonard is ejected, the starting pitcher, the MVP. The squeeze, fight back, and tie it at 9 in the 6th on a Jordan Cadleb 3-run homer. That's after Carly Hobbs is brought in relief. And then the Mocs find a way to score in the bottom of the 6th. Carly Hobbs comes in, gets the final outs. It was truly pitched by committee today, by force, but it was pitched by committee. The squeeze made a push, but somehow the Mocs held them off. I mean, truly a game unlike anything I've ever seen.
It was definitely, hard fought on both sides. One, for the Mocs to overcome that bit of adversity that was thrown their way very early. That was probably really difficult for them. And then to have their lead cut not knowing that they don't have their ace out there. So one, just tip of the hat to the River Mocs for gutting it out and finding a way to make it happen. That's it. For the squeeze, I love the feistiness. I love the fact that they fought, that they were scrappy, and had people on every single inning. Gave themselves a chance to win this thing.
Yeah.
And that, that's what this game's all about. I mean, that was a fun game, and I'm actually really glad the squeeze fought back, because how much more fun was that than seeing an 8-0 run roll? And you know what? Like, the Mocs, how much more do they appreciate this win now?
And truly a testament to what the Mocs offense was able to do. If I tell you these numbers, 9 runs for the squeeze on 15 hits, I think we're in agreement the squeeze wins that ball game.
Yeah.
But the Mocs, even though it was just on 9 hits, every hit mattered, and at the end of the day, it was the free bases given up by Jenna Green early and by Kenna Wilkie early on in, and even in that 6th inning, that proved to be pretty costly.
Yeah, that timely hitting is more important than overall hitting. That's the biggest thing. You take advantage of free bases, getting hit by the pitch, walks, anything that they give you. Then you get a timely hit, that's a couple runs on the board, and nobody's better in this league at timely hitting than the River Mocs.
Yeah. They're taking their picture right now. They've got the trophy. They've got the shirts. We're going to talk to somebody. I'm not sure who, but whoever they bring to us here on Streamline Tampa as we conclude the FGCL summer softball season. They're going to come to us, whoever Ryan Moore decides to bring, whether it's Michaela Transu. Let's look at some of these days. Alyssa Mullis had the game-winning RBI double in the bottom of the 6th. She drove in 4 runs today. Ari Quinones had the home run in the 5th. She was excellent all day. Lizzie Shubert, a strong day. And the beauty of it, it was 1 through 9 for the River Mocs, just like it's been all summer long.
Yeah, the lineup 1 to 9 has been unbelievable for the Mocs all year. They've been consistent. They've been scrappy. They've just gotten it done. And when you can count on all parts of your lineup to produce, how fun is that as a coach?
I think we're going to get Michaela Transu. Yeah, here we go. We've got the winning coach upcoming. Come on around, Michaela. All right, here.
Put her in
the middle. We'll have her sit in the middle with us. The head coach of the River Mocs, Michaela Transu. There is so much for us to talk about in this game. Come on in the middle here, Michaela.
Congratulations.
There she
Congrats.
is. Hi.
Congrats, Michaela.
Thank you.
I've made my transition to the broadcasting booth
Yes,
now.
and she was superb today. A 10-9 win for the River Mocs to take the championship. My gosh, what a game.
Yes.
Let's start early on. Okay, so in the 2nd inning, there was that controversial play. Mac Leonard ejected. All of a sudden, bang, you lose the top of the order. You lose your starting pitcher. You lose your leader in the dugout. What adjustment did you as a coach have to make sure that your team stayed in the game and didn't let that play get them down going forward?
Well, I think Mac handled herself really well during that whole situation. Honestly, I disagreed with the call. However, we have to move on. He can't reverse that after he does it. So she did a great job handling herself and staying in for her teammates, and I think that was a difference maker for sure. We had to do what we had to do. We had to switch some things up, change some things around, but it seemed to work. We just stayed in our zone and kept attacking. So it really did help that she was still in there and was in good spirits and didn't, she could have done a couple things out of that situation, but she really carried herself well after that. So it was good.
I definitely agree. I was actually making a comment in the last inning. I'm like, she's at the opening of the dugout, in there with Hobbs. Like, come on. Like, she was in there.
Yes, she's incredible, and it was very unfortunate to lose, our best player realistically on the team in that 2nd inning, but she really carried herself well, and I think her teammates kind of rallied around that too, so it was good.
How do you feel like Maddie Davis responded to being thrown into a championship? I knew that you probably told her she was the reliever today if need be. There was not a world where she thought she'd be coming in the top of the 3rd today, right? And she had to sprint off to go warm up. How do you feel like she did coming in such an emergency situation?
Yeah, I mean that's the emergency action plan. You got to have one, right? So she did a great job. She came in. She's been seen by them a lot. She's thrown like 15 innings against them or something like that. So she really carried herself well up there. They've seen a lot of her. And then, you know what, Carly just came in and owned it in that last inning. And I was just so proud of that whole staff as a whole, really just picking up the slack there.
Yeah, I was like, this team did not get to this record with one arm.
Right.
And that's what, we kind of kept revisiting was this is a staff. And they've actually all been pretty strong throughout the whole year.
Absolutely.
And they've had their good moments, their bad moments, but they've all gotten better throughout this entire season. And I knew it was going to be interesting, but they got it done. And I loved Carly's demeanor on the mound that last inning. She had that pep in her step. Even with a runner in scoring position, she looked composed.
Yes, she's always been that way too. She's very stoic on the mound. She does a great job controlling her emotions and not rushing or not getting too out of control out there. So I'm so proud of her. So proud of this whole team. They came out, they fought, and that was just a crazy game.
It was. There's one more thing I have to ask because I feel like the motto of this summer, kind of randomly, but it became the motto, was don't let Liz get hot. And Alyssa Mullis got hot. She drove in 4 of the 10 runs that you had today. Quiet bat, sometimes quiet personality, but man, when she has big games, she goes hard, and she proved to be the big difference for your team to get you the championship today. How important has she been offensively all summer long?
She's just so even-keeled. You wouldn't know if she's 0 for 3 or 3 for 3 on the day, and I think that's what really is the difference maker in her game. She hits the ball hard every single time she swings, every time. It might be a loud out, might be a line out, but it is hard almost every single time. So, we rely on her a lot. Middle of that lineup did a great job today. They really picked up the slack. Having Mac out, it was tough, but all the way down, I think everybody did a great job of just hitting the ball hard and making loud outs.
Well, congratulations, Michaela. What a championship. What a way to win the first ever FGCL summer softball title.
Appreciate it. Well deserved. Thank you, guys.
10-9 victory. All right, Carly Hobbs, I think, is going to hop in with us. She came in and shut it down to secure it. The Breakthrough Athlete of the Year. Joining us here in the booth, Carly, from a pitching perspective, the most bizarre game in the world for your team. You think the MVP, Mac Leonard, is probably going to go complete. I'm sure that was the plan. All of a sudden, you're being called to come in at the very late stages of a championship with it being a tight game. And you missed the zone a little bit early. You gave up the home run, but then after that, your response was very impressive to me. How were you able to fight back even after the home run that tied this game up in the 6th?
I guess I just kept telling myself it's not over till it's over and keep fighting till those last pitches. And before that inning, I was just telling myself, like, you will, you got to get out of it, you will, And then my defense was behind me and stuff like that. I knew everybody would be there, so it was good.
Yeah, there's nothing better than when you get to know your defense has your back. I mean, as a pitcher, I know, nothing gives you more confidence. And I could tell that last inning, I just said that with your coach, that your demeanor was so on point that last inning. You had, your struggles a little bit early in the inning before, but when you came out that last inning, I saw another level of, dialed in-ness.
Yeah.
And, I could tell your confidence was there. And, I mean, just how good did it feel? I feel like having a runner in scoring position didn't even faze you.
Yeah, I tried to tell myself she didn't matter, even though she actually really did matter. But I had to tell myself she didn't, and I tried to own the situation. I was like, "This is what you want to be put in. This is what you train for." So I was like, "Just own it."
I want to tell you congratulations because it's been a pleasure to watch you throughout the whole season. I've seen you grow. Just every year or every week getting better and better and better and better, and I've loved watching you pitch this season. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, and again, wacky game. You give up the home run, you get out of that inning, do a great job getting through the top of the order. Immediately, your team comes back and scores in the bottom of the 6th. How much did that free you up, knowing that your offense had your back, so that maybe you could make a mistake in the 7th and know that it would still be all right?
I think that kind of gave me a lot of the confidence I had going out because I was just like, we got the run back, And then I was like, if we have to go into extras, they'll get another run. And I know all of our bats are top to bottom great. So I was like, they've got it. It's just a total team effort.
What do you feel like you've learned the most in this championship summer that you can take into college?
That's a hard one. I've learned a lot from each player, too. I think there's a lot to be learned. And I think it's just coming together and playing as one, no matter how long you've known each other or just leadership, because everyone on this team takes charge really, really well.
Well, congratulations. The person that recorded the final out of her hand in FGCL championship history, the first time that's ever happened. Congratulations,
Thank
Carly
you.
Hobbs, on the title.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Carly Hobbs closed it out for the Mocs.
We've got Ari coming up.
Ari
here.
Quinones here too. Come on. Ari Quinones, a 2-for-3 day for her, with a walk included. Here you go. Grab that mic. Come on, slide in. It's all right. Alabama and Washington can hang out here on this bench. Ari, you know, what an interesting day for you, because we've harped too much on the Mac Leonard ejection today, but I think it was so fascinating for you as the two-hitter in the order behind Mac, who's pretty much always on base. Now all of a sudden that 550, 560 OBP is gone from the lineup. How did that adjust your mindset every time you came up to the plate, knowing that maybe there wouldn't be somebody on for you to drive in?
Well, I just knew that the person that they put in didn't have a lot of opportunities, so I was prepared to have to step up and be that leadoff hitter. Mm-hmm. And I knew I had to get something started because squeezes, they hit, and you got to hit to win, so I just needed to get on base.
Well, and you did that. You did that really well, and popping a ball over the fence, which was super fun. I mean, you've been a feisty hitter all year. You've been so fun to watch. Because I think one of the things I notice out of you is that you understand the role in the moment. Mm-hmm. Whether you're there to move someone, or you're there to score someone, or you're there to get on base, you've always been really strong there. But how confident did you feel this game? How that game started? How confident did you feel pushing into those later innings?
I just knew my team, we hit 1 through 10. Somebody's going to step up at some point if somebody else doesn't. So I just knew, I have so much confidence in every single one of those players.
Yeah, I mean, you're over at second. You recorded the final out. You didn't have to deal too much with the wind, but it was a factor all day long. What conversations were going on between the defense during plays, in between innings, as y'all were trying to adjust to the crazy conditions we were dealing with here at Lakewood Ranch?
I mean, we don't talk too much to our outfielders, so I know they're the ones that had to deal with it. We just get stuff on the ground. So I'm grateful that I didn't have to deal with the wind, but our outfielders stepped up today too. Every time the ball got hit out there, they got it back in as quick as they could.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit of craziness, and balls. Usually, it's balls on the ground are the ones that get crazy. Mm-hmm. Today was in the air, but I definitely think that you guys stepped up. You were so right. Your 1 through 10 lineup, strong. Mm-hmm. It's been that way all season, and you've been a main component of that. And what did you as a leader on this team, because you can see who leaders are just by the way they carry themselves on the field, the way that you see the teammates watch and look mm-hmm. and learn and take cues from you. How much has it meant to you to be a leader on this team with this group of girls, and seeing just how far y'all have come in these 5.5 weeks?
I don't know. I wouldn't look at myself as a leader. I just go out there and be myself, and then players we fire each other up.
Yeah, well, that's sometimes the best leadership is the ones that aren't trying to be, and I think you're the leader that does. You know what I mean? You're the one they follow because you're outdoing, and I love that. I've loved watching you play because you're just energetic and feisty, and you just go and play hard every inning, and I dig that. And I know why Coach Tar has you, because let me tell you, you look familiar. I know that kind of player.
Yeah, I joked about Stormy many times. I'll joke about you as well. I can't wait to see you break my heart at the World Series and watching him plays Alabama. But seriously, looking ahead to 2021, Washington's got a lot of stars on the infield. They've got a lot of those stars coming back. It's going to be a fight for playing time at Washington, and you've picked up a lot of experience here this summer that you can take out to Seattle. What do you feel like you've learned that could give you an edge going into the 2021 spring?
Just the reps, getting these reps that I didn't get during the season. I actually did get a little bit of playing time this year, so that was cool too. But I mean, I am the fielder I am because I play behind Sis Bates.
Yeah.
I play behind Taryn Atlee, so it's they push me, we push each other.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Ari Quinones, the person that threw to first to get the final out here in the FGCL championship game, 10-9 victory for the Mocs. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow. Ari Quinones, the final person we'll chat with. Erica, let's sit down and decompress one more time as we wrap this baby up. Wow, what a title game. A 10-9 victory for the Mocs. We've talked about how it went down. I didn't think we'd see a game this high scoring. I didn't think it would be as dramatic as it was, but what a title game to grow this league. A lot of people across the country were tuning in. It got the eyes of a lot of coaches, players, media, especially today as this game unfolded. I mean, what a perfect way to cap off a wonderful summer here in the FGCL. A summer that, frankly, a month and a half ago didn't seem likely.
Yeah, coming from up to the week before, really knowing if this was going to happen or not, to this culmination, I wouldn't expect anything different than this kind of championship game, though. It feels like it's been that kind of season. We've seen some amazing softball being played. We've seen some crazy scores. We've seen, nail biter 1-0 ball games, and we've seen run rules and people putting double digits up. And this is just like the excitement, the fight, the drama, all of the things, everything we expected out of an incredible summer. And what a summer, 2020.
Gosh. We didn't get a 2020 NCAA softball tournament. That's a shame. I think it would have been the craziest we've ever seen. That's all right. That's a solid substitution right there. Incredible. 8-0 Mocs, and then the Squeeze came back to tie it at 9, and then the Mocs got a run in the bottom of the 6th on an RBI double for Melissa Mullis to win it 10-9. Just incredible. Any final thoughts from this summer, from this day, Erica Beach? As it's been a pleasure to call this game with you and watch history unfold right in front of us.
I mean, it's been amazing being a coach in this league, getting a chance to meet basically my new family members. I'll be here in 2021, that's for sure. But it's been unbelievable getting to coach a team again and getting to be out here with some really good softball.
Yes.
And thank you, Gray, for being unbelievable in your coverage and your support and just your enthusiasm for this sport and for this league. You've come prepared. We need to show these.
It didn't blow away, thank goodness.
Look at this. Okay, you guys, listen. I need you guys to appreciate what this man has done on a daily, weekly basis. These are his boards that he does for each game he streams. I mean, the research that goes into this, the work that it takes him till who knows what hour in the morning.
It was very late last night.
To put together all of these stats, everything you see here. This is insane.
It is insane. I can confirm that.
But this shows you how much pride he takes in what he does and why he's so good at what he does.
Thank you, Erica.
For someone to dedicate this much to us, to give us a true experience of having a quality person here calling with great softball knowledge that has passion for the sport, it makes a big difference. And what you've put out this entire season has given our fans at home, the family members, college coaches of these kids, the chance to really get a feel for this experience and to get really quality softball called.
Thank you.
And I just can't thank you and Stream Live Tampa, and you guys have been amazing for us.
Yes, credit the crew. Javier Nunez, fantastic work this summer producing. Jim Delaney doing great work also. I mean, goodness, thank you so much for the kind words. It really does feel like I've met a new family amongst these coaches, and we really bonded really well in the last week and a half, too. We had all kind of gotten to know each other early on, and then as we kind of got into the we've been here a while stage, we kind of leaned on each other to get ourselves through to the end, and it really was so much fun. Being more or less their age, I've made a lot of friends with great players, too, that I'm heavily anticipating seeing in the future. Not just reading their stats, but seeing them at the World Series, seeing an Ari Quinones, seeing a Stormy Kotzelnick and Washington, God help us if they play Alabama, but seeing them in Oklahoma City, seeing Shannon Sale and Alabama and Oklahoma all have to play, because of course they will. This league has provided exposure to a lot of players who maybe haven't had that. I think of Carly Hobbs. It provided a chance to develop for players that needed it. I think of Ari Quinones. And it provided a chance for players who maybe were already at the quote-unquote top of their game, but needed to fine-tune some things, like a Mac Leonard, like a Shannon Sale, and they did that. This league is only going to grow. I'll repeat what I said. All twos at any level. If you're a number 2 pitcher, you should pitch in this league. If you're fighting for a starting spot at any level, you should come play in this league. It needs you. And I'm so excited to see what this league can do in the future.
Absolutely. It's been one heck of a ride. So can't wait to see everybody back in 2021 after the 2021 college season, of course, which I can't wait to happen.
That's nobody's safe, right? Before I turn it back over to Jim Delaney for one final message, I'll say goodbye. Just what an honor to have been here this whole summer. Thank you to Leslie Ginder, who I reached out to and said, hey, I see you're doing a softball league. Do you need somebody to talk about it? Thanks to Ryan Moore and his accessibility throughout this entire process. Thank you to Javier Nunez, our producer, and Jim Delaney and the rest of the Stream Live Tampa team for letting us kind of compile. And thank you to all of the viewers out there and the players for letting me talk about you and call your name all summer long. It truly was an honor. I came here because I missed this sport and because I love this sport, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to all the viewers out there. It was truly a blessing and an honor to get to spend my summer with all of you. Such a blast. Thank you. And now as we exit stage right, Jim Delaney, it's your show once again.
Yes, yes. Gray, Erica, thank you so much for today on the behalf of Stream Live Tampa. I know our Stream Live Tampa fans out there are used to seeing and hearing myself. Once the league, Leslie Ginder got myself connected with Gray. Gray and I had been talking for weeks about planning all of this, and coming down here, I was supporting him, and then there were some other opportunities within the league to help locally with PA announcing, and then some prior commitments that I had. It actually made it the schedule less hectic on our end, because we knew that we had Gray here. And then, look, everybody gets to have somebody like Erica Beach be the color analyst today. So it was a lot of fun this summer. A big, huge thank you to Ryan Moore, the founder of the Florida Gulf Coast League, all the coaches, players, fans. We met a lot of great people. A lot of people supported us, especially those that donated to Stream Live Tampa. Very appreciative for that. Fantastic game today. It was a very fitting finish to this exciting season between the River Mocs and the Squeeze today. And again, what Coach Beach had said, we'll see everybody for the 2021 Florida Gulf Coast League season next summer. Bigger, better things planned on our end, working with the league a little bit more, and especially after hopeful 2021 college softball season in the spring. So Jim Delaney here. Look for more coverage of different athletic events in the local area, and when we get back to high school season, sports happening in the fall and then the incoming months, we'll see how all that plans out. But Stream Live Tampa will be here once again and again. Big thank you to Gray Robertson for really stepping up big time for these games that we streamed this summer. So Jim Delaney here on behalf of the Stream Live Tampa crew. We will see you next time.